You ready?
Yeah.
You sure? You ready? You ready?
I'm ready.
You're always ready.
I'm ready.
Look at this guy. He's such a handsome man. He's
I want
always
to be.
ready.
I want to be you when I grow up, right there.
I know, man. Gosh,
Whatever.
So good. So what I told him, I was like, every
Don't
time,
make me blush.
every time
I'm in a perpetual state of blush, so you know.
every time I told him, every time I come in, every time I see you, it was like, dude, every time I see Colby, I'm just like, God, it's like a Greek god. He looks so good. Dude, I'm serious. I'm not blowing smoke up your ass. Dude, your proportions and symmetry is fantastic.
That's fun.
Bro.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thanks, dude.
So, hi. Welcome to the Wicked Bearcast.
It's enough of us gushing over somebody.
Yeah. So, as always, I'm here with my favorite neighborhood bartender, Corey.
What's up? And with me, as always, the captain of coaching, Andrew.
Yeah, and then with us is the one, the only Colby, owner of Northside Gym. And if you couldn't tell, we're not at the bar, obviously. We're at his place.
Feels so weird that not being behind the bar.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
So we did a quick walkthrough of the gym just to show you guys. So we'll show that to you now and kind of walk you through it. It's an awesome place.
And take.
Thanks for having us, man.
Yeah, man. Thank you.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys coming.
Yeah. No, it's been, dude. So we talked a month and a half ago-ish.
About that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We saw him. If you haven't seen that episode, it was the Customer Appreciation Day episode.
Yep.
And we got to hang out with him. You were on your way out, and we talked for like 5 or 10 minutes, and it was like, dude, we got to do a full episode.
Yeah.
So hold that thought.
Sometimes my wife works from home, so sometimes she'll hang out with her while we're recording.
Yeah, she's my little friend, man. She's my little dude.
It's the squeaker.
Yeah.
I love that.
She's working her way outside of that little burrito. I have this like burrito blanket that I wrap her up in, and she keeps wiggling her way out of it. She's fine anyway.
Yeah, she's a tapas at this point now.
Yeah,
It's not a burrito anymore.
it's an open bowl.
Yeah.
So yeah. Anyway, I don't remember where I was, but
we're
customer appreciation.
Yeah,
customer appreciation. Yeah. So we got to talk a little bit there, which was awesome. We're like, dude, we got to do a full episode, and of course, Colby being Colby. Yeah, absolutely. Come on over.
Yeah.
You guys hang out. We'll host you. So it was awesome, man.
It was cool.
Yeah, I wasn't there for that little portion.
Yeah, he was doing
we only had 2 chairs, so I was like, I'll go help out inside.
Yeah. He was like, should I stand here awkwardly?
Yeah, it's like just kind of like just standing here like hovering over everybody, like, I want to go. So I went to help Jeff. So.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought you went to the bathroom or something.
Well, I think I did that too, but yeah.
Yeah, dude, awesome place, bro.
Yeah, man, the place is fantastic.
Thanks.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Yeah, we opened up almost a year from now.
Oh, wow. Okay.
December 18th.
Oh, wow. So we're coming up on your anniversary.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
Yeah. It was our soft opening. Our grand opening was April 6th.
Okay.
But we had a soft opening just so I could work out the kinks and get customers in and, just to get a feel for it, rearrange things, get new stuff, take out old things.
Yeah, play with the energy of the place.
Yeah. Because I think the energy of a gym is, no matter how big or small it is, like you have to make sure that, the feng shui of the machines and like the people, the traffic flow, the aisles, like everything is mapped out a certain way,
100%.
Absolutely.
And I was in the military, so like it was weird.
Which appreciate your service, man.
I appreciate it. Yeah. And I just feel like with me having like I guess being in the Navy or whatever, they just always instilled in our mind like nice, orderly, neat. Like everything you do, make sure it's thorough. And so when I got this place, I was like over the top about it. Just like my machines had to be a certain color, a certain way. And I think it really helped bring like a good a good clean atmosphere to the place when we first started. So
even now, I mean, I can only imagine how over the course of especially your first year, how much it's changed, right? You go through like, oh, this group of machines makes more sense over here, given the energy and given the flow and how people are moving, all that kind of stuff. But even now, like how it's set up is really nice. And it's when you walk in, and your eye line is like, wow, there's a lot of equipment. But then when you get into it, it's no problem. It feels good. It moves easy. It's very different than most gyms, because a lot of gyms are like big open spaces. And then you get into the machines and it's so crowded. You're like, what? Like,
it's just like clusters of equipment.
It's really frustrating. It always takes me back to Metroflex. I used to train at Metroflex. But
it's hard sometimes when you walk into the gym to kind of like sell people that are not used to like the gym atmosphere, you know? Because we still have like iron plates and stuff like we're not like retail. But when they come in, they like see all this equipment and they're kind of like, you know, it's loud and people are like kind of like grunting and stuff. They're like, oh man, like I don't know if this is the gym for me.
Bro, there's a difference between a gym and a health club. For sure.
Yeah, there is.
Hold that thought.
Baby.
But yeah, the flow is fantastic, man.
The layout of the place looks great.
Yeah, I feel like when we first got the space, was a kickboxing gym on the spot that you walked in the front desk, and there's like an aisle that goes to our bathrooms, locker rooms, and everything. That was a kickboxing gym. It was kind of small. It was like 2,600
no kidding.
And so
was it roped off when you?
It was just this side was like a shell space, and then the kickboxing gym, the front desk was like tile, and then everything else was like, you know, like wrestling mats.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Yeah. So
was it like the I Heart Kickboxing place or something?
I Love Kickboxing.
Okay.
So, which my realtor she lives in the area. She stopped by, and the owner of the kickboxing gym was like, "Hey, we're going out of business. You should have, you know, your client come check this place out." And she sent me a video and stuff, and I was like, "Nah, that's not what I'm looking for," because I was trying to get into like a warehouse.
Okay.
I didn't even really want to go retail because it's just so expensive per square foot.
Right.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, I'm gonna have to pay double pretty much per square foot if I go into retail. So I was like, let me just think warehouse, because I wanted like, you know, 10,000 square foot, and I wanted all these things because I thought it was just more feasible. So I was looking more on like the Oak Ridge, like that's where I grew up. So like I was thinking like more Spring or around 99 and stuff like that. And I don't know, something just like I kept hitting dead ends over there. Like I would like get close to like getting an LOI sent out, and then like the property manager would like back out, and like it was just weird shit.
Yeah.
And so then I was like, man, I just got frustrated, and I was like, well, maybe I should just go check this kickboxing gym out. And I checked it out, and I was like, all right, I think it could probably work, you know? So then I had bought all my equipment already.
Oh, okay.
So, like,
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I had already bought like...
Where were you keeping it? Just in storage somewhere?
One of my equipment dealers, he had most of it. Yeah, he had most of it.
Up.
And I had bought it probably like 6 months before I even...
Whoa.
Wow.
Yeah, like I was like, hey dude, I'm gonna make this happen, so I want to buy this equipment or whatever. He was like, okay.
Of course he was.
Sure.
Yeah, he's like, buy my stuff.
Yeah, and then charge you rent for holding it. Holding it where you charge you warehouse space.
No, he was like, look, I got enough room to hold it, so
that's
like,
cool, man. That's what's up.
Yeah, so he didn't charge me, which I was very grateful of.
Yeah.
And I didn't have to move it out of his place into a storage.
Right.
Right. And then move it again.
Oh,
and
Yeah, because equipment is fucking heavy as hell.
Yeah, and it's so frustrating to take it apart and put it back together and then get like all the stuff lined up right. Ugh, it's a nightmare.
So what I ended up doing was I just told him like, hey, if you could just hold on to this stuff for me, I promise I'm gonna find a place. Like I'm dead set on it. So I was looking, kind of running out of time, and then found this place, and then it was like, well, I can make it work. So I called him up and I was like, hey, you think I could fit all the equipment that's in there right there? I was like, you think I could fit that in 2,600 square foot? And he's like,
We said 10,000. A quarter of
fuck no. Dude. It's like, we're gonna have to sell half of your stuff for you to like get this.
And you're like, nope, we'll figure it out.
Yeah. So then there is a shelf space. So like where we're at right now.
Yeah.
There is like a suite right next to it. And all I had in my budget was the kickboxing gym.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right, right.
Because it was double the square footage.
Right.
So, or double the amount per square foot. So then I was like, adding the suite next to it would have been double the size, which would fit everything. But I was like, dude, I don't know. Like that's like.
Yeah, especially just starting out.
Yeah.
I was like doubling up. I was like, man, I don't know. Like, this is pretty scary,
Yeah.
I talked with Angela about it, and I was like, dude, I mean, like, if this is where we're meant to be and God is like putting this in our path, then maybe we just run with it. And I was like, I just don't see where else we're gonna go. So, and knowing this area and like it's good demographics and like
I don't know any other real gyms in this area.
Not in this area, no.
Yeah.
No. There's, I think, Lifetime Fitness.
Right, club.
That's close.
Health
yeah,
club.
health club
Like
type
gym.
stuff.
I
And
don't know.
LA
Yeah,
Fitness,
gym.
but an actual gym, I hadn't seen anything.
Yeah.
And there's like boutiques and stuff like that. Like the I Love Kickboxing, I was going out of business.
Right.
So,
Which tells you something right there that don't open a kickboxing gym here.
yeah, dude.
So
Well, it's just like I feel like this area when I was driving through, I was looking at competitors or who could be competitors.
Yeah.
And it's just all these niche places.
Yeah.
It's just like.
So when you say niche places, like
F45.
Yeah, okay, got it.
Like Pilates or
Got it.
like
The hot
core,
yogas or something like
Wicked
that. Yeah.
Core or like Yoga 6 or, it's just like, and they'll charge a premium. And you
so
go to
expensive.
classes and it's like, dude, you're charging fucking $200 a month and you're going to like a 1 hour class like 3 times a week. Like it's just crazy to me, like the numbers, but they can get away with it because the area that they're in.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, this might actually work out, because like this is a real gym, So when I opened it, thankfully, I had a lot of doubt, but it ended up working out.
Yeah.
For sure.
Right. So you bought all the equipment and then it sat for 6 months. And prior to you buying that equipment, how long was that span of time were you sitting being like, okay, I want to start opening the gym. What's the first step? What's like, because obviously buying the equipment, you weren't like, okay, I'm going to buy the equipment, right? There had to have been like a long span of time even before that. So how was that?
So I can honestly say that I always really wanted to open up my own gym, especially getting out of the Navy, moving back to Texas. That was like my main goal in the back of my head. I was like, I want to open up my own gym. I don't know where yet, but wanted to make it happen. And I wanted to do it in my own like hometown, right? Legacy Barbell at the time was already there, right? So I was like, okay, well, let me go work at Legacy Barbell and let me like gain knowledge on like what makes Legacy Barbell what it is. And then like try to help the gym and help it grow and see what I can learn. And so whenever I went there, I told Henry like first time I met him or whatever, he's like, hey, what's your goal? Where do you want to go? Whatever. I was like, I want to open up my own gym. It's like,
good.
This is my goal.
100%.
Yeah. So then like over the years, I started to just kind of like notice things that I would like and what I wouldn't like and, what would set me apart and what,
When what you like and don't like, are you talking about from running a business perspective or running a gym specifically perspective?
Like if I was a member at my own gym,
how would you want it to?
How would I want
look
to
and feel? Okay, got it.
So basically, you create the atmosphere, the culture of the gym, how you would want it to be.
Yeah,
okay.
Right. So like, and whenever I was, like for instance, whenever I was at Legacy, that's when like Hunter Labrada was training there. And like, like
before they did their own facility.
Yeah. And so it was really cool. Like, it was like, dude, a lot of pros are coming out of there, and it was like, damn, dude, this is like,
it's a cool spot.
Yeah,
it still is.
Really, really cool.
Like Gene's still there. See Gene every now and then.
But it was just like the bodybuilding atmosphere was like, man, you can go in, you get your workout in, and you're just inspired. Like, as soon as you start training, you like look over and see these people that are, like top-notch, world-class, athletes. So it was a really cool time. So then, I saw that, and I was like, well,
Hold that phone.
yeah.
Say bye-bye, Jaja.
Don't steal my child, please.
Bye-bye.
Every woman says that.
I might.
Stacy will say that. She's like, and here you go.
Yeah, she just takes her.
Yeah.
I don't care about you.
Yeah.
You can have my husband. Give me the kid.
She's so funny. His wife cracks me up. I'll show up and she's like, she'll see me, I'm holding the baby. She's like, oh, no, baby. And I'm like, oh, I fucking chop liver?
Yeah, yes.
And then she's like, what do you want? Hello, maybe would be nice.
Yeah, you brought what I want. You can go do. He's upstairs. Go.
Yeah, the joke is I'm always one of 3 places. His house is one of them.
Yeah.
So his wife is like, she treats me like one of her sons. Not a friend, not his friend, one of her sons.
Yeah.
So funny.
It's like, oh, you're here. Yeah, you're up. Yeah, who you want to see is upstairs. Give me what I want. And
So funny.
You're done.
Okay. All right. Where were we?
All right. So the process, you had the equipment in storage 6 months. So that time
leading
before
up to it,
purchasing
yeah.
the equipment, what was the?
Yeah, so like,
Oh, we're talking about like Henry and stuff. So so you were there seeing how the business was run, how to run the gym, all that kind of stuff.
yeah. And so, well, I mean, even prior to that, like I was training, whenever I got out of the Navy, I had transitioned into training, like freelance training when I was in Virginia.
Yeah.
So I trained there, and I worked at almost like an Anytime Fitness type of place. It wasn't Anytime Fitness, but it was very
Something like
similar
that,
business model.
Definitely not your.
No, yeah, it wasn't.
There
was no community. Yeah, there's no community. There was nothing, and I definitely felt like something was missing there.
Yeah.
And the owner was like, "Yo, why don't you come work out here and get to know the members?" And I was like, "Dude, I don't want to fucking work out here. Like this is not my place." But it was like really
Every time you walk in the door, you just gag.
yeah, dude. It's just like there's no character to it.
Yes.
No,
absolutely.
it's always it's kind of hollow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just kind of put a bad taste in my mouth for ever being like a commercial gym or anything like that. So and then there was this other really cool gym that I was training out of. It was like an iron gym called Virginia Beach Iron, and their gym was super dope. Like this dude really collect pieces.
Love that.
And he had this really big warehouse, but it was like it was not industrial. It was like almost like a tech warehouse. Like it was all AC'd. Like it was very, very nice. Like you walk in and it's like you're in
almost like a
retail
Legend
space.
or like Legacy. It's like that kind of feel. It's AC and comfortable.
Yeah. So and everything was blacked out, and I mean it was really cool. Like music was really loud, and I got to know the owner there, and he put me onto just different gym equipment and stuff like that. So then
That's awesome.
yeah, so then I went to Legacy, got to learn a lot of stuff there, and then I kind of left Legacy and wanted to learn more about business stuff, how do I actually make this thing run? I know culture's part of it, right? But how do I get to know the numbers and how to actually make this thing what it is? So then I went to Freedom, and I talked to JJ for a lot. I was there for a year and a half. So me and him talked about opening a gym and just different things. He kind of mentored me in a way.
That's awesome.
He was like, "Hey man, this is what you want. This is what you don't want." He introduced me to Jose, who was the equipment dealer that I bought all the stuff for, and he held it for me or whatever.
That's awesome. It pays to know people.
Yeah.
Just make friends.
For
Be
sure.
nice.
For sure. And
makes such a difference in your life.
yeah, and I mean, and me and him were really cool. I actually bought pieces and put my stuff in his gym, the 2 Panada pieces that I have, a pullover machine and a chest press. I bought those machines and put them in his gym, and I was like, hey, I'm gonna keep them here because eventually I want to own a place, but I want to see how this equipment does because it was kind of new to the area. Not a lot of people had Panada, so I wanted to try it out. So just little things like that, and he mentored me a lot about numbers and about what you want, what's an ROI in a place, and how you need to own your shit and not just lease all your equipment.
Right, don't do that. Yeah. Well, it has its place. It has its place depending upon what you're going for. But for you,
yeah,
no.
Right. Yeah. So he mentored me in in those ways. Talked a lot about taxes, like what to be prepared for, like when you have payroll and just little things like that. So, and it helped, and I would like write stuff down, like, trying to like make a business model or whatever. I was trying to like formulate an idea, and then really once I had my idea, I kind of like transitioned over to like Texas Iron Republic for a little bit. Yeah. It's like I kept like bouncing around.
Dude, from so many different perspectives.
It's all about who you know.
Yeah,
yeah, make those connections.
It's cool too because that would be from a business perspective. That's a very easy transition being under Henry, because both you guys kind of was under Henry at some point and you kind of learned that similar kind of thing. And then obviously Tyler's stark contrast from Henry's place, right? So that's fantastic. That's a you couldn't have asked for a better scenario in that situation.
Yeah. I mean, and I think like I always learned a lot from when I was training at a Legacy Barbell. When I first showed up, I had to meet with Tyler because he was the head trainer there. So, he asked me about training, what was my style, like who I was, got to know Tyler. And then over the years, like I saw Tyler kind of like as a training mentor, like he's a really smart dude and he's really passionate about training and powerlifting. I mean, even bodybuilding, he used to do that too. Yeah. So I got to pick his brain about a lot of stuff. So then when my idea was like, why don't I go to TIR? And I had already like started buying pieces and stuff. Okay. I was like, why don't I go to TIR? Why don't I learn from Tyler? Because Tyler's buying all these pieces.
Super collective.
Yeah. He loves to collect them.
Yeah.
Right? So, and he's very smart when it comes to machines and how they function and stuff. And so I was like, well, why don't I just learn from him? Like because he's the guy. Like. And his gym was blowing the fuck up, like 100%.
And it still is.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
Yeah. So I was like, dude, he's obviously doing something right, So, and when I went there, like, I mean, I had been there, I was there at his grand opening and stuff like that. But then, when I got there and I stayed there, like, I could definitely see like the community and everything. Like, it was just really good, you know. And also the machines, they're really, really selective, and they all worked really well. The upkeep was really good on them and stuff. So. Learned a lot from him. He actually like helped me on a couple pieces. He like refurbished some.
Oh, cool.
A couple pieces for me. Yeah.
Nice.
Because he wanted to do that kind of on the side. So
I didn't know he started.
Oh, no kidding.
He kind of.
No, I didn't know that.
He kind of like he did it for a little bit. I don't know if he still does it.
Oh, okay.
But he did it for a little bit.
That's cool.
Okay.
And so there was like a couple pieces that he like put some like snake skin freaking upholstery on and shit,
the benches.
Yeah.
No, they're still there.
They're still there. They're there. Yeah.
I love that.
So he put some blue snakeskin upholstery on my shit.
That's so fun.
Some vinyl, and it was cool, man. It was just fun, like.
And that's also a custom piece that can be like, yeah, my buddy did that for me. It'll last for years. That's cool.
Yeah, I mean, it was really cool. So once I had that knowledge and stuff like that, and I was training out of there. This Creekside location like kind of came about, and the more I thought about it, I was like, it's a pretty good area, It's like it's far enough away from, let's say privately owned gyms that like I could definitely bring a good membership base to. And I think my business model is different than Legacy or Freedom or TIR. It's just kind of like it's retail, but it's a little rougher than retail.
It's a different feel. It is a different feel, and it's nice because it's when you hear about Northside, you kind of see it. You're like, oh, that fits in the area very well, just from like a logic perspective. Yeah. And then to your point, when you come in though, it's so different than anything else around here that it's okay. Cool, I can actually come here. So it draws the crowd. If you know the area, it easily draws the crowd in, right? And then the people who stay are the ones that really want to be here and train. And that's how it feels when you walk in. You can feel that when you come in, which is awesome.
That's cool. That's good to hear.
Yeah, no, I love it. And another thing that you have is a fantastic staff. You have hand-selected some really good people. So I forgot that George was here. George, huge shout out, super good dude. And then Erica. Also, like that's awesome. Like how did you? I don't even know the story there. I don't know if you poached them or if they were just like, yeah, I'll come. Like, how did you get those guys?
Well, it's just over the years. So I haven't really. One time, I guess I put out on Instagram that I needed front desk staff, and then that's when like George reached out to us. But I mean, these people I've known for like a long time. Actually, no, I lied. There's two separate times that we reached out and said that we needed front desk staff. One of the girls we got were Kimberly. She's like 18. She's great. I love her. She's like everyone's little sister. She's super nice, friendly.
That's cool.
And then the other one was George. But most of everyone has always been knowing people throughout the years.
Yeah.
Like, it's kind of weird how our paths have like crossed like in multiple ways, you know, over the past 6 years or 7 years that I've been back from Virginia. And I was like, man, I didn't really realize this would be a good fit, but it actually is a really good fit, you know? So like, come like help me out and I'll do what I can to support you guys. So like JD, for instance, you know, like JD, when we were back at freaking Legacy Barbell, like, I mean, he was a trainer there too, and like we were talking about training with each other and stuff, and then somehow now he's like working here and he opens up the gym for me, and
that's so cool, dude.
it's just,
I love that.
Yeah, it's really cool. And then like one of my other trainers that works here, Asia, she's like, she just started training under me, and she won her first overall at Branch Warren.
Nice, dude.
Yeah. So like I got to like mentor her at the beginning of the year, and then 6 months later she gets an overal.
Bro,
and then
that
like
speaks volumes.
Yeah, and then like a month after that, I was like, "Hey, quit your full time and come train me." And she's like, "What the fuck?" Yeah, she's like, "I mean, you sure?" I'm like, "Yeah, dude, I'll fucking make it work." You know?
Dude, that's awesome.
Nice. That's awesome.
Yeah,
I love that. So you're not afraid. Same thing with like opening up this gym, taking that step where it's uneasy and there's some fear there. You're doing the same thing with people as well. You're really like investing a lot into the people that you feel could really help develop and add to this place, right?
Yeah.
That's awesome, dude. And
Nice.
that's super rare from a business owner perspective. That's super rare because most business owners thinking about my business, my vision, you're thinking about it as, okay, my business, but my vision requires other people to help make it happen.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Which is perfect.
Yeah, because I mean, like, I think the hardest thing about being at different gyms was that I never felt like it was my gym. As much as I wanted to make it my gym, it was always the owner's gym.
Yeah,
Right.
You know, and like all of us had to succumb to the owner's rule.
Right. Yep.
But at the end of the day, I kind of made this gym to be like, yo, it's everybody's fucking gym. Like,
I love that.
If you want a piece, like, and you really want it, like, for instance, Asia was doing kickbacks on our Smith machine, and she was doing some crazy contraption, and like fucking, it just looked weird, you know, like uncomfortable, and I'm like, I'm just gonna get you a fucking kickback machine. 'Cause this is like, you know, like, I don't know where the fuck I'm gonna put it, but like, you can't be doing that
We'll
shit.
figure that out
anymore,
later.
you know, because like, you know, it's just one of those things where like, I want to invest in, you know, the people that are here, and you know, eventually as we grow, we just kind of grow together, you know?
Yeah.
Right.
Ah, that's me.
Yeah.
That's good.
That is so cool.
Yeah, dude.
So how many pieces of equipment pieces of equipment did you start with, and how many do you have now? And do you have any plans of adding more stuff?
Yeah, so I started with, I want to say, probably like 30 pieces of equipment, maybe 30, like 30 strength pieces, not including dumbbells and like squat racks and stuff like that.
Just machine stuff.
Yeah, probably like 30 strength pieces. And then I probably had maybe 8 pieces of cardio.
Really?
And then, wow. And then I added 5 more pieces of cardio. So some of the stuff's in storage. So
like, I don't.
Yeah. So I only had room to fit 8 pieces.
Yeah.
So then I was like, well, this is my mentality, is like, okay, stairs are, everyone loves and hates stairs. There's like a relationship.
Right.
Like, where
Yeah, it's a love-hate relationship.
I never have loved stairs. I can't do them more than like 2 minutes.
I know. It's like, but everyone knows it works.
It works so well.
Yeah. So I was like, whoa, why don't I just get like some really nice stairs? And so I invested like good money into some brand new Stairmasters. And one, because like I always seen at different gyms, they're always fucking broke.
Yeah,
like
all the time.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Great question. What breaks in these stairs machines?
See, I was gonna say it's kind of like the joke with the McDonald's ice cream machines.
Yeah.
Every time you go to one of them,
Yeah.
they're like the ice cream machine.
Yeah.
broken.
It's like
Flurry.
Yeah. So it's like when you go to a gym,
Sorry,
it's like
machine
always
down.
there's always that stairmaster.
Always
that's
out of
always down.
service.
Yeah.
What breaks in
dude.
this thing?
I wanted an Oreo McFlurry, and I can't.
I can't get a McFlurry.
Although I think everybody probably would rather have a McFlurry than get on a stairmaster.
Much rather McFlurry get on
Yeah.
that. Hold that thought. It's happened too many times where
Like halfway in.
Twice. It's happened twice.
it's more than twice.
Twice, and he's freaked out.
Dude, it makes me so angry that the microphone would be unplugged or it's not actually recording.
shit.
And the last one that we did, it was the memory was full by the way.
Yeah, it was the memory. Oh,
And
yeah.
like-
that you couldn't have known that.
Yeah, because it just shuts off.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Oh God,
but
how much did we lose?
about an hour.
Well, actually, that's probably best because the last
There was
that
2.5
last hour.
We got 2.5 hours.
That last hour was
Some
just
bullshit.
us. I don't even.
We're in movies. It was just like
Yeah, it was like bullshit
Yeah.
tangent, which happens a lot.
So yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry,
You-
I didn't mean
yeah.
to interrupt you. Man.
No. No, I'm glad you checked out.
Yeah, that would suck being here.
We
Like,
have
hey, we got
no
nothing.
idea what we're doing.
We got nothing.
We hung out for about 2-3 hours and got 15 minutes.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, dude, that's so funny. That's so much equipment. Yeah, I don't know what happens with these damn Stairmaster machines.
Oh, yeah.
they're always broken.
Yeah, so what usually happens is like you get like, let's say Matrix. This is like a big used brand for stairs, and they're decent. Don't get me wrong, they're not bad, but I don't think Matrix brand is like a quality brand. I feel like it's just like a kind of a knockoff brand.
Okay.
In my opinion, and so then those Stairmasters get used so much in their
It's high
sold.
impact. It's a high impact machine.
And yeah, and they're sold and they're getting used 24/7. If you get a new Stairmaster, you don't really know where, or a used Stairmaster, you don't really know where it's coming from.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like, dude, they could be people just running on them for hours and hours for the past
If
3 or
you're
4
on a
years.
Stairmaster and you're running on it for hours and hours, you're a badass.
But
And nobody has a right to say anything to you. Keep doing it. That's amazing.
dude, shout out to freaking Jonathan Page. He was running on our Stairmaster.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was like, dude, you gotta change it up because you're gonna fuck my Stairmaster up.
No, it's not like, bro, your legs are gonna be big. It's like, hey, stop fucking my equipment.
Like, you're gonna have to move around, dude. That's
That's
honestly
so
why I
funny.
got a third one because
It's storage.
So
Wait,
one guy
for
was
this
using
one to
it.
break?
Nice.
so like because he was running on this one and then like one day like I get on it, you know, and I feel it clicking.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, oh dude. This
Are they
motherfucker-
belt driven? Do you know? Are they belt
It's
driven?
a chain.
They are chain driven.
Yeah, it's chains.
I haven't brakes of these things
Yeah.
break so damn much.
I don't know. I really don't know.
Yeah, it's so funny you said that because I don't think I've ever been. Well, so there are 2 Stairmasters at Relentless, right? Or there was one. There was only. I think there used to be 2. There was that one.
That was
And
definitely one.
And it, I think it like I was there. I don't know how long I was there, but it was only operational for like a month. It was always down. But like he kept getting it fixed. It was constantly getting it fixed. It wasn't the owner like neglecting the machine. It just kept breaking. It's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Hell,
Yeah.
man, it's insane.
Yeah, I mean, and I just didn't want to deal with that issue. So I had actually already, when I bought 4 Stairmasters when we first opened, they're all used, right? 2 of them come in and both of them are fucked up. Like
Right when you get them.
Yeah, like right before we opened, it was
Jeez.
like a month that I had them, and like Tyler, one of my clients, was getting ready for his show Nationals last year, and like there was like it was like a death trap. Like he would literally like get on it, and then like 5 minutes in, it would just like speed up to like level 15.
Whoa!
He's like fucking running,
This
like
isn't
trying
right.
to get off of it. You know? I was like, dude, that's not right.
Yeah.
Right? So
You imagine
It's like the
some
fitness
poor old
version
lady
of like
that.
Final Destination or something.
exactly.
Sucked up underneath it.
Dude, I'm thinking as a fucking owner, I'm like, dude, what if someone gets on that fucking dies, you know?
Starts going the other way.
Yeah.
You're like,
Oh God.
Yeah. So I was like, you know what? Like, let me just. So the same equipment dealer sold me these, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, look, man, why don't you take these back and I'll just buy some brand new ones from you? And he was like, that's cool. Let's do
Brand
that.
new ones or still used?
Yeah. No, so I bought brand new ones. So
Oh,
he took my used ones back, and then I got...
Pay the difference or whatever?
Yeah, I paid the difference, got 2 of them. They're a little more expensive, but I mean, dude, I love them. They have a big foot plate, so you're not just walking on your tippy toes.
Oh, nice.
And they have like this overdrive feature where you can like shut the motor off and you can kind of like do like a
cool.
sled pull or like a fireman's carry.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
you're pulling yourself. You're pushing down into it. Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't do the Stairmaster for longer than up to like 5 minutes when I'm in really good shape. But past that, just my hip, that scar tissue in my hip where that hip blew out, I can't do it, man. It hurts.
Yeah.
It's so painful.
Yeah.
And I want to be able to do it because my legs just blow up when I do it. Nope. Great piece of equipment though.
No.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I had like so I had bikes. I had 2 bikes. I had 2 ellipticals. I had 2 rowers, and then I had like all these treadmills. So then I started getting more strength pieces because I needed more strength. So then I started doing away with some of the making room. So I started doing away with some of the cardio.
Yeah.
And then so I bought another Stairmaster, put it in, took an elliptical out. So really right now we only really have Stairmasters and treadmills and 1 elliptical because I'm like, I kind of want some of the most used but hardest pieces of cardio.
I agree with you. I think that's perfect, especially when you're like all beaten up and in a super deficit. Like you don't want to be on a treadmill. Getting on an elliptical, just get through it.
Yeah, right. So that's why I got those pieces, and then I've been slowly adding some. So like right now, I think I have like 40 strength pieces now, and I can't put any more pieces in here. It's pretty much like locked down to the
You can find a way
to the T.
Hey, if you move each machine over 2 inches, you'll end up with 1 spot for a machine on the other side.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, I literally probably have to rearrange the whole gym to get one more piece.
You really would. But it's that whole like, I love how when you walk in the door and you kind of go around the ledge, you go to the right. It's very machine based, but then when you get to the dumbbells, there's not too much space, but there's just enough space for it to be like, okay, I feel comfortable kind of spreading out a little bit more because nothing makes me feel more uncomfortable than when I'm working with dumbbells and I feel cramped.
Yeah, right.
It makes for a bad workout. I can't concentrate the same way. It's just you prioritize the space correctly. I really like how you set that up. And then when you go to the left and you have the racks over there, you've got 3 racks or 2 over there?
I have 2 racks. Yeah,
2, yeah. But they're like super nice, super nice. Not just your standard regular like Rogue squat rack. Like are they the powerlift racks?
Yeah, powerlift racks.
Those big powerlift racks with the 2-pronged giant hooks. Man, you put some weight on that.
Yeah,
it's fantastic. I love those racks.
Yeah, they're fun.
Yeah,
and they're really high. So like I like doing overhead presses. And feeling comfortable in like a power rack, but also being able to reach as high as I can without getting nervous about hitting the top.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, that's what I'm training on right now. Are these power racks at my gym, and they're you feel so much more like when you actually put some weight. I don't mean to say that in a rude way. Like when you start lifting heavy and you start getting up to some big weight, and you
so you're not a pussy.
Push. Yeah. You start pushing into a... It's perfect. When you start pushing into one of those smaller racks, right?
Yeah.
There's not that confidence there. When you get onto those power racks, though, man, you can bang into those things, and they're solid and sturdy, and you feel so much more in control.
Yeah.
So really,
so not like the garage gym.
Bro, his new rack. The rack in his garage is...
Like when you're racking, it's like...
the whole thing just moves forward. You're like, oh, God.
Yeah, it's made of like tinfoil. It's the tinfoil of
I
aluminum.
would say more along the lines of popsicle sticks that were spray painted the color.
It's all lumpy and shit. It's so...
It's that one
I almost
that when you
killed myself under like we were doing bench press, and like I almost killed my son. It was like 3:30 or something.
Yeah, it was like 3:35.
It was really light. I was like, I got it. I like went to rack it, and I just felt it. I just felt it like come down on me. I'm like, oh my God, I'm about to die.
Yeah.
I was like, new rack, bro.
He just looks at me and goes, bro, we can't do this here. I'm like,
not comfortable with this.
this is a garage
I can't even
gym.
do volume. Like it's not. I can't even get enough stimulus for volume.
Yeah.
But it's dude. I love that, man. So when did you get out of the Navy? What year was that?
So I got out of the Navy 2016. I went in 2010.
Okay.
When I was 18. Got out 2016 when I was 24.
Okay. So 9 years. Well, 9 years next year. So 8 years, we'll say. 8 years. You've been on this dedicated journey where every step that you've made has been for the purpose of this.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
So this goes back to what we were talking about before about passion. Right? When you have a passion for something and it's a dream, it's something that just is a part of your core being. You don't even think about those steps. You just make them. It's just something that you do. It's not something that...
It's not a job.
It's not a job. Well, where I was going though is it's still stressful because anything worth doing in life requires work and should be accompanied with some stress. But it was never something that it was never... What I'm getting at is it was never something that you... were like, oh, this just isn't for me. Never. It just it was always going to be this. I love that.
Yeah, I just to add on that. So I was kind of nervous of like my dream, to be quite honest. Like,
interesting.
It's almost like because I knew how much I would have to give to it, and I knew how much that it would. I don't want to say take away, but.
Sacrifice.
It is, yeah. There's a lot of sacrifice that comes with it. So like
anything in life worth doing.
Yeah, and I when I got back to Texas, so I grew up here, went to the Navy, came back. Whenever I got back, I was like, I wanted to get back into training, right? But I was kind of intimidated. I don't really know why of like being back here. And not knowing anyone, because in Virginia, I had already
started that journey there.
Yeah.
Okay,
right.
Got it.
So then, like, I'm coming back into this new area where no one really knows me. I don't really know anyone, and I love fitness and like I was already bodybuilding at the time, but I couldn't really find like a niche place to go. I actually went to Legacy Barbell in 2017 when they had only been open for like a couple years.
Wow.
Right?
Okay.
So like,
I think he's open in 15.
Yeah,
is that right?
In 15, yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah. So whenever I showed up there, dude, it was a completely different fucking gym. Like Tyler, I remember specifically, like Tyler Williamson, Brian Trinello training with their shirts off, just fucking jacked.
Yeah.
And I walk in, I'm like, fuck, dude. Like, where the fuck am I at?
Yeah, right.
Like, I'm like, all right, like whatever. I'm just like working out and doing my thing, but like they're just very like. You come into their space and they're like, who the fuck is that? And like, I had some size to me at the time or whatever, but it was like, they're very like territorial almost in a way.
Let me ask you this: were they actually that way, or was that in your head?
No, they were.
They were. They were. 100%.
Okay. I train with Brian Trinello now. Like we're really good friends, right? I was training with him the other day, and he just liked that. Like he just like when somebody comes in, even to my gym, he's like. Who's that? You know them?
That's so funny. I'm such the opposite. Because
he'll be the guy that walks in and just like immediately hugs you and then asks what your name is.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, what's up, man? I give you a hug. I'm like, you want to do squats? What's your name, by the way?
Yeah. You almost like, you have to kind of like earn his, like now that I know Brian, I think he's a great dude. Yeah. You have to like kind of earn his respect.
I get that.
I can see that. Come in, he's like, dude, you don't know shit, fuck you. Like, he's from Jersey, dude. That's how he is. And Tyler's kind of the same way. Very much so.
No nonsense,
Yeah, so, coming into that experience, and then I, like, step into the warehouse gyms in Texas, I was like, oh, dude, fuck this shit. So I actually started hot shotting. I don't know if you know what that is, but it's, like, expedited food.
Yeah. My brother ran hot shot for one time.
Yeah, so me and
for, like, oil and gas or what?
Yeah, me and one of my friends got into it, and I completely stopped training.
Really?
Wow. I bought a truck and trailer, started my own company.
Yeah.
Did that for a year and a half, and it was honestly because I don't know why, but I was just nervous to get into training around here.
Wow.
You know,
Okay.
it was like
it was that debilitating to you? Or
there were just certain things, man, where it was like I know it's gonna take a lot for me to do this. I know it's gonna be a big fucking hurdle for me, and I know that it's gonna take away a lot of time, you know, like doing whatever I want, or you know, like I'm gonna have to really focus on this thing. And if I want it to work, then you have to. It has to like almost consume you.
Yes, it has to consume you. Yeah, that's what I was getting at a minute ago. Yeah. Let me ask you this: had you and Angela already been together?
Yeah.
Wait, sorry. Do you want me to cut? Is it okay if I use her name?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, yeah.
All right. Some people are. So
Angela
Angela
Davis.
Yeah. His wife, Angela. So so all three of the men sitting before you, very much a product of our relationships. We have women that are very supportive. We have women that will go to the nth degree to make sure that our dreams are taken care of, because they know that's where we thrive. And Angela's very much like that too. Yeah. So what did she have to say about that when you were like, oh, I'm going to do this hotshot thing?
So Angela, when I first met her, she didn't.
When was that, by the way? When did you meet?
We actually met before I came back from Virginia. So the reason why I came back really was because of Angela.
Oh, okay.
So I grew up here. You know, again, I went into the Navy. When I got out of the Navy, I was still living in Virginia for a while because my daughter was out there at the time. So I was like, well, there's no real sense of me going back home when my daughter lives in Virginia. Her mom was still in the Navy. And so I was like, I came home to visit one time, met Angela, and I was like, well, Angela's pretty dope. Like, let's see if this works out. So we kind of like dated long distance for a few months. And then my daughter's mom was moving back to her hometown, Ohio. So she was going to take Riley with her, my daughter. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, well, shit, this girl's really working out. Like, and my family's in Texas. Like, why don't I just move back there?
Yeah.
You know, so Angela's been with me like pretty much since I was in Virginia, all the way through the hot shotting stuff and like trying to find my footing. I was going to U of H for a little while.
Yeah. She knew that this was the dream, though.
Yeah, she did. But when I first moved here, and I was trying to find a job training, she kind of was like, "I think training's a bullshit job."
Oh, really?
Really?
That's so funny. Really?
I wouldn't say that.
I can't see her saying that.
So she's very like. When I first met Angela, she's about her shit. Like, she's about business, right?
Yeah.
And so, you know, she's a go-getter. And so she graduated from Texas State, and she had moved to Houston for, like, job opportunities and stuff. So she lived in, like, San Antonio area. So, when I first met her, she was, like, already working kind of a corporate job and stuff. And she was, like, wear a dress just to work every day and just very, you know, just, like...
Yeah, very professional.
Professional. Yeah. So, like, she just kind of saw training as just, like... a thing to get you to the next step, or whatever the case is. You know? And so I was going to U of H and trying to train at places or figure out my way when I came back.
Yeah.
And she was just kind of like, when I brought up the hot shotting idea, she was like, "Oh, you should run with that because it sounds like you can make money."
Got it.
And that's kind of like,
got it.
I had this support system to be like, why don't I run with this? Because, you know, Angela's saying it's a pretty good idea. And
and
my
it
buddy's
is.
saying,
it is.
Right.
You can make money hot shotting.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
You can. But like,
Dream.
No, it's not a dream. It was just like, it turned into like my fucking life, and I like hated it, dude.
Yeah.
I hated it 100%.
I train with him. He trains at the gym. I train out, but he's also a powerlifting trainer, or powerlifting coach, I should say. Excuse me. And he owns Hot Shot, and he is, dude. His schedule is insane. He never knows when he's going to be able to train. He doesn't know when he's going to be in town. He doesn't you chase the money essentially.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it's essentially
him and I were talking basically about this same thing. He's like, bro, it's like, all this stuff. I'm like, why don't you just coach, man? He's like, yeah, but, I got all this other stuff. And he's in business with his family. There's stuff there too,
Right.
But, yeah, super tough. That's a super tough gig.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, it was.
So you did this for a year, and then did you have a conversation with her and be like, hey, this isn't the dream. I'm not happy. I don't like this. This is not working out.
Yes.
Or did that start with your partner? Like, how did that?
No, it kind of got messy because my partner at the time was my best friend, right?
Yeah, that's. Be careful.
Yes.
Be careful.
Do not get in business with your best friend.
Yeah. Well.
So.
You're
like, whoa.
Well, it can work. It depends on what you're doing.
It depends on make sure you have the same common values.
The dream and the goals have to be. They have to be in line. You have to be in a line. They don't have to be the same, but they have to be in a line.
Yeah.
Well, so I the only reason why I say that is because we didn't really talk about. I had spent so much time away from him in the Navy and stuff like that.
Changed,
and I changed a lot. So then when I came in, I was like, hey, this is a good time to like make some money with my best friend. I thought, this is what it is.
Yeah.
But we had spent so much time away from each other. Now that we're in a truck team driving together every fucking day of the week.
Yeah. Right.
You start realizing like, I can put forth way more effort than him. You know what I mean? So like, I was literally
it's like that group project.
Yeah,
group
dude,
project in school.
I'm doing the whole fucking project.
Yeah.
I just feel like I was driving at night. I was trying to find loads in the morning. I was like sleeping for like 3 or 4 hours. I would come home like completely exhausted. I completely stopped training for a year. Like my muscle,
see you doing that.
Dude, my
That's
muscle
insane.
density like just went to shit. Like it was like got off. Like
because you weren't eating the same, your sleep was messed up, the food
I
was
wasn't
messed up.
fucking taking testosterone at all. I was like completely just
not in the gym life
not in the gym.
at all.
Yeah.
Which I cannot see that. That's insane.
I know.
You must have been so. I'm sorry, it was been so miserable.
Dude, I was. And then after a year of that, there's some things kind of happened where I started realizing like, hey, like, I don't want to say I'm getting taken advantage of, but I need to.
There's resentment building.
I need to take some steps before I get taken advantage of.
Yeah. Right.
So I had to eventually take over the company and fire my best friend.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of how it happened. It was like, hey, dude, like I invested all the money in the company.
It really was all you.
Yeah.
What
actually, Angela. Actually, I don't want to say that.
Yeah,
Angela helped with the investment of the company, like money wise.
Yeah.
And so me and Angela had put forth everything into the company, and he was just working for it. So I was like, hey, I got to take it over. And then eventually I had to fire him. So 6 months after that year, I spent 6 months trying to dig myself out of a hole that I got out of in 6 months. And then I finally stopped hot shotting in 2019. So it's been almost exactly 6 years since I stopped hot shotting. Yeah.
That's insane. That's insane
No,
that
5
you
years.
stopped working out. I can just knowing you must have been just.
No, it was 5 years ago.
Yeah.
2019, December 2019.
Yeah.
Wow.
5 years ago.
Wow. December seems to always be a big month for you.
Yeah. I know. Yeah. Now that I think about it, that's when I opened the gym.
Yeah.
That's fucking weird.
That is weird. And when's your daughter's birthday?
January 17th, same day as mine.
Oh, wow. Oh, that's cool. That's really
That's
cool.
insane.
bro.
Yeah, well, that's easy to remember.
I know. Yeah, I don't have a fucking birthday anymore.
Oh, no, that's gone. That's gone. Yeah, no.
I was like, when did I turn 31? I was like talking to Angela about it. And I was I don't fucking remember.
The same year your daughter turned 1.
Yeah.
That's so good.
Yeah, dude.
So you okay? So going back to the Angela thing though, so you guys invested all this money into the business, and then it kind of was going to shit, and then did you have that conversation with Angela about like, hey, I want to go back to the training thing, I want to go back to the gym thing because that's my thing, or did it slowly kind of just evolve? Like you closed it kind of sounds like you shut the business down and then you started kind of just gravitating back to the gym. It's kind of what I'm hearing. Is that what it was?
Yeah, so like 6 months, when I had the full control of the business, after the year that I split with my partner, I spent 6 months trying to get out of the hole of like debt, basically, and like so I could make the money that we both invested into it, so I can get out of it. Right?
Yeah.
When I did that, I was starting to get back into the gym slowly. Like when I was here, I was working out at 24 hours in the Woodlands.
Yeah.
And then I had an Anytime Fitness membership, so when I'd go out, I would find a place to park for the night, but I was always at an Anytime Fitness.
Okay.
And I would pull like in the parking lot.
Okay.
And I would shower there.
Got it.
And I would like literally pack my food like I was meal prepping for the week, and I put it in
at least you were going
coolers
back to it though. That's awesome.
Yeah, I started like really trying to dial it in, and I was trying to get regimented, be consistent, train while I was on the road. It was very tough. But,
yeah, dude. Yeah.
But
super tough.
I did it. I mean, I figured out a way. I mean, I was really passionate about it. So I was like, fuck it.
Nice.
So then you go to Legacy.
Yeah.
And then you walk in and you're like, I haven't
been
been training in a year.
Yeah.
Well, you've been doing some stuff for 6 months as you come back into it.
Yeah.
But you go in and you see these dudes and you're like, shit.
Yeah, the same fucking dudes are still there, dude. Same dudes, you know. And so I walk in and like Henry's at the front desk, and I was like, hey man, you remember me? And he's like, yeah, I remember you. Your name's Colby, right? I was like, yeah. He's like, I want to start training here again. He was like, all right, cool. You're gonna meet with Tyler, and then that's how it happened.
That's so funny. This industry is powerlifting is the same way. It's such a small world. Like it just like it's so weird how it all works. I don't know if you remember. Do you remember when we first met?
Yeah, as Species.
Yeah, you remember that?
Yeah.
Isn't that weird?
I remember.
So that. I came back to the gym. So I had been kind of similar kind of thing, in and out for a couple of years. And it has to do like this.
You look way different, by the way. You're way more jacked.
Am I?
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
I was trying to remember, like, because we were having this podcast, and I was like, when did I meet Andrew?
Yeah.
And then I was like, dude, I'm pretty sure he's at Species, but he did not look like he does now.
No, I was not like, did not look like this. So I had a similar kind of situation where like I was with I had gotten with now my ex-wife, and it was a couple of years had gone by. I had this injury. I blew, if you know this, watch podcast, you know the story, blew my hip out. And then was like still trying to work out, but it hurt so bad. And it was like, you know, it's such an ego hit when you're squatting in the sevens, and then like it hurts to squat with the bar. You know what I mean? Like that's painful. It's painful in multiple ways. So that was that kind of hit, and I had still tried to keep training, but then I was like got with her, and I was like, okay, I can't really do much more, so stopped training for a long time, and then that was like 3 or 4 years. Yeah.
Fucking tough, huh?
Dude, that's tough. And it's like same kind of thing. This is my dream. This is my passion. And then in 2016, kind of came back to the gym right when my oldest daughter was born, who's 8 now. I did some stuff, was kind of working out, kind of get back into it, and then life picked up again and slowed it down. Still working out, but still like calmed down a lot. And then after we split, and then like we had the whole thing with COVID and all that, I was like, okay, I have to go back. I can't do this anymore. I've been denying myself too long. So I'm kind of going around, like I had just moved to Spring, and I was kind of checking out like gyms in the area, and I came across Species, and I walked in the door, and I was like, this place smells like mold and piss. It reminds me of the first gym I worked out in. It was kind of like home, you know? The first gym I had started off with, oh gosh, this is so long ago. First gym, hardcore gym, started off with, is called Van's Gym, and it was out in Baytown. It's not there anymore. It was dank, it was dark, there wasn't AC, the ceilings were low, the tiles, there was not a piece of equipment in that gym that was newer than like 1982. It was like old school iron hardcore gym.
So it still worked.
I loved it.
Yeah.
It was fantastic. Like you'd leave the place and you'd have like metal.
Dude, you had the
splinters.
rust on your hands.
Splinters, like
nice.
metal splint, like the chromes jabbing into your hands. Like, this is awesome. So I get into Species, and that kind of reminded me of like just kind of the feel of it. Like it was more, they had more equipment. It was a little more like the machines were nicer or whatever, but it still had that kind of a low ceilings, dark, kind of a dank feel. So him and I can't remember who you were working out with though. Was it? Oh gosh. Man, I can't remember who it was. But you were working out with somebody.
Yeah, I can't remember.
And I like, again, being me, right? They're mid-set. And I got to him and I was like, hey, what's up, man? I'm Andrew. And I can only imagine what's going through his head. And I'm like, so what do you like? You like this gym? Like, tell me a little bit about it. What's your experience like? They're both of them like, who is this guy? And I looked like hot garbage. I looked like shit, flabby and gross. So do you remember what you were thinking about? Like, what? Do you remember that at all?
Well, I do remember you being super talkative. That's for sure.
That seems out of character.
If not anything, I'm consistent.
Yeah. And like, I remember you saying you were near the area, and you were like talking about, Species Gym or whatever. I think I told you I didn't really train there that much. It was just kind of
I think you said that. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think we talked about Legacy. That's where I was training at the time. Yeah. I was like, you should go check it out.
Yeah,
But,
and it was a little at that point. It was a little too far from my house. That's why I wasn't training. But I eventually started training.
Yeah.
But that's so funny. That was 20. That was either, I can't remember if it was 2020 or 2021. It had to have been 20.
Yeah, maybe 2021.
It had to have been 21 because it would have been like in the heat of COVID.
Yeah, because Species didn't open, I don't think, until 21 or late 2020.
Then it was like, might have been like August, September of 21. And that's when I was there. It was like in that same week I was training, and that's when I met Jeff. And then that's when Jeff and I became training partners and all that kind of stuff. And then the rest is history. But like I was saying, it's such a small world. Like the fitness industry, it's such a small. And here we are, 3.5 years later, sitting at a podcast.
That's weird.
In his gym.
In his gym. That's so cool.
It's fucking weird.
Bro, you own a gym, dude. That's awesome, man.
Cool.
I love it, bro. That's so cool. I'm glad you're doing so good. I'm glad you're so happy.
Thanks, man.
One thing I did want to get into, though, how are we doing on time?
155.
Okay. One thing I did want to get into is bodybuilding.
Yeah.
So that's kind of, from what him and I spoke about before, that's kind of the spark, right, for the gym is his love of bodybuilding. So whenever you again, I can't believe you stopped training. Like, I can't see you stopping training for a year. That's insane. But from a bodybuilding perspective, you were bodybuilding in the Navy, right? And then when you get out, or whenever you started the business with the hot shotting business, were you still competing then? Like, how did that span of time kind of go from bodybuilding perspective?
So I had done 2 shows before I moved back to Texas. Both I competed at Linda Murray in Virginia in 2015 and 2017. I moved to Texas.
Of that same year, 17, right?
2017. I moved back to Texas. I had met Angela. We both kind of like, we met because she wanted to do a show that was like on her bucket list.
Okay.
And so we started talking. I was on Bumble like fuckboy,
Really?
Like yeah.
Nice.
And she was the only one that like we had a lot of stuff in common. So we were talking about things, and fitness and the gym was like our thing. We were just talking about it all the time. So we actually tried to get ready for a show in 2018 together.
Okay.
And did not work out. Like sometimes you compete with your spouse, and sometimes you just can't,
it's a tough thing.
Tensions are high, and
just with the food, and you start getting that low.
You're like
tensions get high.
So she ended up doing the Phil Heath Classic in 2018. I dropped out because I was like, hey, I've done it a couple times. Let's just get you on stage and let you compete and see if you like it and whatever. So she did it, one and done. She's just like, hey.
Okay. That was her thing, though. That's what she wanted.
Yeah. She just wanted to try it out, And then at that time, I was starting to kind of like the hot shotting thing kind of like started to rear its head as I was getting ready for the show, and me and Angela weren't really like
quite a thing.
Yeah, like me and Angela
were
dating, but like the prep was kind of like getting on our nerves, and I was like, well, why don't I choose to be with this amazing girl, drop out of my prep because I've already been on one, and start on this journey of this hot shotting thing, you know?
Okay. So they went hand in hand.
Yeah, so I was like, you know, pick a little bit of a career and invest in this business and keep my girlfriend. And,
which
like,
paid off.
Yeah, it really paid off.
Yeah.
So, and then that's the route I took. So, I mean, my last show at that time was at 2017. So then when I ended the company and everything in 2019, then I competed for my first time after a long break of like in 2020.
Okay.
So like it was COVID hit, and they had shut down like most of the shows at the beginning of the year. And so the first show of the year was Southwest Championships in August. It was up in Dallas. It was one of the first few shows. They had like literally probably like an all-time high of like 500 competitors or something there.
Whoa!
Like, it was insane. Like they had a shit ton.
Everybody had just been in prep for 6 months.
Yeah.
Just waiting it out.
I know.
It's a nightmare.
And so
there were those refeeds, bro.
They were insane.
I bet.
Yeah, and so I had been kind of like, hey, I want to do a show to get back into it type thing, you know. And in the back of my mind, I was like, it would be nice to do a nationals show, you know, maybe try to go for my pro card, but I really just wanted to get on stage. And so I ended up, you know, getting most of my prep done by myself, because I had done my last show by myself back in Virginia. So, you know, I was like, hey, let me get myself ready. But then
it had been a while, man. That's like 3-4 years.
Yeah, and I think, and then I was about 7 or 6 weeks out, and I was like, and Brian and Hunter were all at the gym, you know, and I was getting closer with them. So I was like, hey, can you just watch me on my prep, you know, and just kind of guide me in the right path and make sure I don't fuck anything up. And so they're like, yeah, and dude, Brian took the reins and fucking.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I looked awesome. I mean, I was the leanest I've ever been, for sure, like by far. So
I saw the picture you did. Was that the picture that you posted yesterday or the day before?
No, that was my prep for nationals in 2022.
Okay, because you looked fantastic there. You looked big though. You
Thanks,
looked
dude.
thick. Yeah,
Thanks.
dude, his legs.
Thanks,
Massive.
dude. Yeah,
dude. Unreal, man.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Yeah, so you how did that psychologically? How did that feel going through that prep after being out for that long? Like, because not only had you not been gearing up for a show, you also hadn't really been training. So, like, how did that mess with your head? Or did you find yourself just kind of fall back into it?
Yeah, I just kind of fell back into it.
Nice.
It didn't really like mess with my head at all. I think like honestly, when I went to that show, like I thought I was gonna fuck it up. I mean, just because like I knew how hard I had worked at the hot shotting thing, you know?
Yeah.
And so when I diverted all my energy that I'm putting into this thing that isn't giving me any energy back.
Yeah.
I diverted to the gym and my passions and stuff.
Right, yeah.
And started feeling that energy back. I was like, oh, like this is what I've been missing, you know? So I was training like that and I was eating like that.
Super intense.
Yeah, I was very regimented.
Dialed in.
Yeah. So I was like, you know, I knew I'm gonna win that. I won that show.
Dude,
but
that's awesome.
I didn't win the overall. I won my class.
Okay. In what class?
Class C. Yeah.
Class C? Okay.
Yeah.
And what federation? It wasn't
NPC.
It was
Yeah,
NPC? Oh, okay.
NPC, yeah.
All right. Cool.
I've only ever competed at NPC, which I think this year I might compete, or next year when I compete again, I was thinking about going to a couple different federations just to try them out. But
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. For me, like I know just enough, right? And for people, there's probably a lot of people watching that have like, oh, bodybuilding, that's where you flex your muscles. Is a lot more nuance to it than just that. So
Yeah.
Can you kind of give us a, and for us too, like give us a glimpse of what that looks like between the different federations? Like how does that work?
So NPC is like, NPC and IFBB are the biggest. That's where like Arnold Schwarzenegger came from, and you know, like you have all these like Frank Zane and Dorian Yates, and just like big names like throughout the years, Ronnie Coleman and stuff like that. And they have, let's say, the most publicity when it comes to the bodybuilding scene. And then over the years, there has been other federations that have come about in the States that are, they're not as competitive.
Yeah, okay.
But in my mind, like, I went to a couple GBO shows, which is called Global Bodybuilding Organization. I brought some clients to last year, and I don't know, it was different. It was fun. It was not so much about competing. It was more about having a good time,
Love that.
And I was like, that's pretty fucking cool, because I've only ever competed to win. I've never competed.
Super competitive. Yeah. Everybody's cutthroat. Yeah.
So like, I was like, it would be cool to just go to a federation just to have fun and just get on stage and get your jitters out and, perform and just have a good time.
Yeah.
Because that's really, they care, I think, a little bit more about that than NPC, IFBB. NPC, you're like fucking, you're a number, and you're like, hey, let's go. Because there's so many people, to get through a show. Yeah, right. And they're trying to turn and burn you, so they can get out of there at a decent time. Yeah. Love that. It's just different federations have different mentalities, I think. Okay. So.
And you compete in classic?
Yeah, I've competed in both. So I competed in bodybuilding and classic.
The bodybuilding, was that the 2022 show?
I actually competed in bodybuilding, my first show ever, 2015.
Wow.
Yeah, classic physique wasn't out yet.
What was your weight then?
I was 188 pounds.
Wow. And you're 6'1", 6'?
No. I'm only 5'10" and a half. Thanks, though.
You look big, dude. Bro, I'm telling you, man.
But I was 23. I got 4th in that show.
That's insane, dude. For your first show in bodybuilding?
It was crazy.
Wow.
So there was there was 12 guys in that class. And all the other guys above me were all in their 30s. They're all
super experienced.
They're all juicing that. Yeah. So I was like,
you're just some kid that's been training for a couple of years. I've been in the Navy. I just like working out.
Yeah. I'm like, this would be pretty fucking cool. Yeah. Like, I might be good at this thing.
That's awesome. What a confidence booster.
Yeah, it was cool. So then, I love bodybuilding. To be honest, the bodybuilding division to me is way more fun than classic. The only reason why I say that because ever since that first time I competed in bodybuilding, classic came out, and then I've been trying to fit in the classic mold. Yeah. Just like with small waist aesthetics.
Yeah. I like classic. Big. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I went on stage the last time I competed was 2022. I went to the Kuklo, and I was going there to compete in classic, and I was like, I had my bodybuilding trunks with me. And I think one of my buddies was like, yo, why don't you just hop into fucking to bodybuilding? And I was like, fuck it, I'll do it. I don't care, right? So
fuck it, we're here.
I was like, let's just see what happens,
Yeah.
And so I was like 202 pounds, and I had to go into the heavyweights. And the heavyweights can be up to 225.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Right? So I was like, we'll see what happens, dude. And like the same day I get on and just switch trunks out, I get a few more poses for bodybuilding. But dude, I fucking love bodybuilding. Like just the energy, I don't know what it is about it, but like you don't have to worry about being so aesthetic all the time. Yeah. Like you just go out and you just show your muscle,
Yeah,
like,
right.
It's kind of like how I like training. I like training like hard and fucking sweat and like, fucking tears and blood. You're like, fuck it, like that's kind of how bodybuilding is to me. Classic, it's more like, I'm gonna watch my rep scheme,
Yeah.
I'm only gonna do a top set, or whatever the case is, right?
I like something about that though. I like it.
So
I like the science of it. I don't know.
No, it is cool. Yeah. It's cool, but like there's something about
do you like the grit?
Getting in the gym and just fucking killing it. And like when you're on stage in bodybuilding, it's kind of like that. Like all the guys are kind of just like trying to be as big as possible. So I get on the Kuklo at the show and I fucking win in heavyweights. At 202, I beat this fucking dude.
Dude's 225.
Dude, this guy was like 220.
20 pounds. Wow. 20 pounds of lean tissue is a massive difference.
And I fucking beat him. And
how tall is he? About same height?
I think he might be a little shorter than me. I think he was like 5'9".
Really? He was shorter and heavier?
Wow. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you still beat him out?
Yeah.
Nice.
It was cool.
Yeah, no
I was
kidding.
like, I fucking like bodybuilding. It was nice, man.
Dude, that's awesome.
Yeah. But I think just to compete on a pro level, bodybuilders have to be so big now.
I don't like it. I think that's why. Because I'm thinking the bigger shows, I'm thinking IFBB, the bodybuilding, they're so big, it's no longer aesthetically pleasing. It's no longer streamlined. It's just how big can you get? It's like, I mean, that's cool, but like also some of those guys, like the varicose veins, they're like, I'm not about it.
It's not aesthetic.
Yeah, it's not aesthetic anymore. So I think
it's like a freak show.
Yeah. I like the classic, man. Just the streamline, the tapers, the lats.
Classic,
I love
that classic V shape.
I love the big chest, big lat into the taper. I think it looks fantastic. Yeah. And it's I'll never. Well, I'm not gonna say I'll never, but I'll probably never go into like a classic kind of physique. I'm just too thick. But whatever. You go with what you do. So if I did it, it'd probably go into bodybuilding. Whatever.
But I mean, that's how it is. I think it's just kind of split up between body types. You know, you have your mesomorph, you have your ectomorph, you know what I mean? Like it's people that fit into a physique mold, a classic physique mold, or a bodybuilding mold. You know,
and your insertions, your genetics play such a huge role where your muscle insertions are, and like your waist to shoulder ratio, your hip size, your femur size, there's so many different things about it that. And that's why I think the bodybuilding, I like the bodybuilding aspect because of the same reason why I love powerlifting is the science of it and how you can manipulate the body through mechanics. Yeah. Is the same thing in bodybuilding. You can manipulate the body through not necessarily mechanics and leverage, but through like maximizing genetic potential. Right. And that's from a training perspective, but also from a nutritional and pharmaceutical perspective too. And I think which is like that's my jam is the nutrition and everything, which is, and I love that, and I've been able to maximize people's potential. Yeah, thank you. Through very different ways of accomplishing the same end goal, right? But because of the way they are, requires a different approach. Yeah. I love that about bodybuilding. I love that about bodybuilding. And that's why I keep talking to you. I keep talking to him about it. I'm like, that's why I'm so curious. I kind of want to do a show. I want to do a show to stand on stage, to do it, and to see how I can manipulate my own body through that same formula.
It's cool, man. Like I like the sacrifice of it. Like I like you have to withstand a lot of temptations, and you have to kind of apply yourself even more when you're tired and you're hungry and it's one of those things. You get in the gym and it's like brutal. There's no off days. It's like you got to perform like you're eating 5,000 calories, but you're only eating 2,000. Yeah, you're only eating 2,000. Like, and you're fucking.
That was my breakfast this morning, by the way.
You're like 5% body fat. You like have no energy.
Insane.
You're like, let's fucking crush it.
How do you
go in
function?
there and you squat fucking 400 pounds like you.
You know what it is. All right, do it again.
Just pure will.
Another set of 6.
Yeah, it's cool. I mean,
do you like that? Do you like lifting heavy? Do you like which route do you go?
Yeah, I like lifting. I like lifting heavy as long as I'm controlling the weight. Like if I get to a point where it's so heavy I can't control it, then I kind of back down the weight a little bit. Yeah.
Got it. So you like to what I like to call earn the weight?
Yeah. Yeah. And so like I mean, now heavy for me, I mean,
it's relative. It's all relative.
But I mean, like let's say a deadlift, like for reps, like 500 pounds or. I'll squat. I'm getting close to like 400.
And that's what for like sets of 5, sets of 6. How do you set your set reps?
I think the most I've ever done is like 500 for 6.
Okay.
Yeah. No,
that would be like a top set?
Yeah.
Okay.
But when I train with Brian, he kind of like, he always watches my form, so he'll be like, nah, man, stop at 3 or whatever. Like, fuck you, dude. I could do more than that or whatever. You know, he's like, your hips aren't into it, man. I'm
Yeah.
Like, all right,
That
whatever.
doesn't sound familiar at all.
I'm so anal with him.
my
Like
God.
all my
No,
clients are.
no, wrong, no.
Terrible.
Looks like shit.
Yeah,
no.
dude. You're like, fuck that shit. I
Yeah.
fucking had that.
Oh, yeah.
What do you mean?
After about the 30th rep, and he's like, 1. Like,
Yeah.
fuck you, dude.
You have to when you train with me, you have to earn the weight and you have to earn the reps. If that rep doesn't look like the way I want it to look, you're doing it again.
Didn't count.
It didn't count.
Yeah.
If that, because I know, like when you know how it is when you train with someone, and even if they're like whether they're a beginner or whether they're very advanced, you can pick out what their rep is supposed to look like for them, right? Even if they're a beginner, you watch them do enough reps, you're like, okay, that was a perfect rep.
Yeah.
That's what it needs to look like.
Yeah.
And then you coach to getting that rep. And the way I like to do that is I grind my clients into the ground by it has to look like that.
Yeah,
And if you want to have a break, you are gonna make it look like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It works.
I think we got a visitor.
Oh,
Yeah.
one second. I like to grind my clients into the dirt.
Yeah, there's nothing more entertaining than hearing him tell a 13-year-old kid that his form looks like hot garbage.
Yeah, dude, that looked like shit.
Yeah.
Do it again.
Straight up. That
I
looked
don't
like
care.
shit.
I
Quit
don't-
being a
I
bitch.
don't
Do it
care.
again.
I don't care
Yeah.
how old you are. I don't care what level of training you are.
Meanwhile, my
Again.
kid's looking at me going, "That's messed up, Dad." Okay, he's your coach.
Yeah.
I hear that shit all the time.
Yeah,
Sorry.
He was I grind him into the dirt. He's throwing up. He's just
Oh, yeah.
he's done. I'm like, oh, are you finally done throwing up? Let's get back to it. Come on, man.
Yeah.
But I train hard too. Though. I'm not willing. Two things. Again, if not anything, I'm consistent, and I'm not willing to ever put my clients through anything that I'm not willing to do to myself.
Yeah.
And I treat myself the same way. I have to earn the weight, and I will. I'm really good at hurting myself.
Yeah, I was gonna say to your detriment.
I'm really good because I push myself arguably too hard sometimes. I'm really good at hurting myself. That brings up a good point. Well, injuries, man. So he had a doozy, and we kind of mentioned this at the Customer Appreciation Day. But have you had other? We'll get to that one because that seems like it's probably the most recent one. What has your injuries been look like through the years? Have you been pretty fortunate, or?
Well, this is one thing I wanted to talk about, but
Okay,
I've
hey,
had-
whatever you want to do, bro.
I've had surgery on both my feet.
Really?
Okay.
What kind? What for? What?
So,
Like plantar or what?
I actually have muscular dystrophy.
Do you really?
Really?
Yeah.
Bro, that's amazing. The training, dude, the training has done nothing but benefited you to the nth degree with that. If
Yeah,
you let yourself,
for sure.
if you have MS or dealing with any kind of MS, train, get out there and start. It doesn't matter what level you are, start training. Your life will be infinitely better.
Yeah, that's what
I did not know that, bro. That's insane.
Yeah, I found out. Well, I had an idea kind of when I was in high school. I started when I was playing basketball. I started like kind of running on the side of my foot.
Okay.
And I kind of had like this deformity where my heels turn in on themselves.
Yeah.
So, and then my feet naturally evert and they just kind of like fall.
Yeah.
And I roll my ankles a lot.
Yeah.
So I was trying to like circumvent that by like kind of putting my foot on its side and running, but
Oh, like
it was
on
like-
your on like
like
more
the
on
side
the ball.
of my foot.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so like I was doing it so much I would like wear down the side of my shoes.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to stop fucking playing
Playing
basketball.
ball. Yeah, man.
And so we went to go see a podiatrist and eventually an orthopedic surgeon. They're like, yeah, we're gonna have to do surgery. Like your foot is, whatever. You might have. It's called Charcot-Marie tooth.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's a disorder where it affects your feet and your hands, your nerve endings.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so eventually they just like kind of they deteriorate. They stop working.
Yeah. So
and then
is it a numbness or is
yeah,
it a tingle or?
then the muscle starts to atrophy
because it's
and
not
then-
being stimulated. Yeah.
Right. So then as the muscle starts to atrophy, then you start getting like less feeling and not as much stimulation, more numbness and stuff like that. So, it happened in my feet really young. So I had surgery on my right foot when I was in high school. And then, you know, from then, I don't know, it's kind of weird, but I was like, you know, I got to stay on top of my training.
Yes.
It's like, right. I was like, well, if I have muscular dystrophy, I'm going to make sure that like I can go as long as I can and hold on as much muscle tissue as possible.
Definitely.
So, so then I always knew that. So then, you know, went into the Navy, kind of like snuck by some hurdles.
Yeah, exactly.
And
don't ask, don't tell. Well, at that point, it used to be.
So it was just one of those things where I get in and, you know, I literally was like, my boots always, you know, those combat boots are like really high. They support my ankle a lot.
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't allow my ankles to move as much.
Correct. So it atrophies.
It atrophied pretty quickly.
I imagine,
Then I have like foot drops, so like my feet, like I couldn't control, right?
Yeah.
So then I ended up breaking my foot from walking so much in my boots.
Wow.
It just like fucking snapped. Like my fifth metatarsal just fucking snapped one day. And I was like, oh my God. So went to go see an orthopedic surgeon in the Navy, and they're like, hey, for sure you have CMT, like we need to do surgery and all that stuff. So I had surgery when I was in the Navy. Probably like my last year I was in the Navy.
No kidding.
Yeah.
How did they repair that? They put plates in?
They put like a screw in, and then they basically like do this thing where they cut my heel in half and like turn it and then like staple it.
Oh, got it. Okay.
And then what they did, that's all they did on my right foot.
Yeah.
On my left foot, they actually did like a tendon transfer. So they like took different like smaller flexor muscles and they kind of like switched them on themselves.
Okay.
So that like
you just change the anchor points.
So if I could evert or if I could evert or couldn't evert my foot, then they just changed it with the muscle that could work.
They tightened it to where it would change. Yeah.
So
no kidding. So how does that affect your calf training?
Right now is like I kind of try to hit my calves. I have this like neuromuscular stimulator. It's almost kind of like the newbie, but I've been trying to really use it like at least 4 times a week because my calves are atrophying like
I can only imagine
at a very quickly rate.
Wow. Yeah, dude. I can only imagine.
Yeah.
That's nuts. So you got to get real experimental.
Yeah. So when I was at Legacy Barbell, or you know, back in the day, I started walking barefoot because I started realizing. Actually, it's kind of a weird story, but Charles Vogel always used to train barefoot, right? And there was this one time he had this conversation with me, and he was like, "You should really train barefoot." I was like, "I don't think you understand. My feet hurt like a motherfucker."
Yeah, that's why.
Because I have neuropathy really bad.
Right.
And so he's like, "Yeah, everybody has excuses," and I was like, "Fuck you, motherfucker."
Yeah. You're right.
Like, I'm gonna fucking do this shit.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the first time training barefoot, my feet hurt so bad. I was like limping and stuff. But then I started trying to walk barefoot more and more and more. And then eventually, like, I was just known at Legacy Barbell as a dude with no fucking shoes. Yeah. Like, I just was always on my feet. And the pain eventually started to go away.
Yeah.
You know?
I have been advocating for that for years.
Yeah,
that's why I wear these.
Yeah.
There's nothing. This is as barefoot as you can get. I've got him on them. I've got
my youngest on them.
Got his youngest on them. I put almost all my clients on that as much as they can. For ankle mobility, especially for powerlifters, like anything you can do to increase the mobility, do it. Right?
Yeah.
It's as stupid or small as it is, do it.
Yeah.
Same kind of thing.
Yeah.
Bro.
It's crazy.
Dude, that is nuts, man.
Yeah, so
So dealing with that and the hands, how are the hands?
So my hands aren't as bad. It affected my feet a little worse off the rip, but last time I had an EMG done, they said it was 100% gone in my feet, no doubt.
Wow.
And I was like 50% in my hands.
Okay.
But that was back in like 2016, 2000.
Okay.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay.
So, I mean, I've been trying to do what I can to preserve the muscle. It's crazy because, you know, I'm a bodybuilder, so I can like isolate different muscle groups, right?
It's so hard to feel from the dexterity perspective, given that what's going on with the hands.
Yeah. So you could see like my lateral head of my gastroc is developed, and my medial head is like fucking gone. You know, like it literally looks like somebody just like split my calf in half.
That's so weird.
You know, it's like
being like that.
That's so this weird. Line is just like
not
completely
there.
gone.
That's so weird.
It's like
you're
somebody just
massive
chopped it off.
Wow.
Yeah, dude, but my lateral head is like super developed.
Hey man, you know what? It pop on stage. It's gonna look different. Whatever you can do, it'll be symmetrical and pop on stage. Do it. So maybe that's why you won. Hey, kudos to you, bro.
I don't know.
That guy's got really good calves.
Yeah.
Really?
And then it'll start to get to where, you know, when I get really lean, and, you know, obviously, like, you have, like, that fat layer on the bottom of your foot. And then when you get really lean, it, like, starts to diminish. And
that's there for a reason.
Yeah, walking, like, with the neuropathy and trying to pose and stuff, and, like, I can feel that pain. It's like, oh, my God, it's a motherfucker.
Trying to smile.
Yeah, dude. It's a motherfucker. Dude. And you're hungry. Like,
I hate my life right now.
But
dude, that's nuts.
Why do I do this to myself?
Yeah, it's like one of those things where it's like, I don't know, I just fucking love it.
100%. 100%. As many times as I've blown discs and blew my hip out and blow my knee out, whatever, I'm not gonna stop. I'm just gonna be like, well, I got hurt today. Well, it looks like next week I'll take off, and then the week after that, start back at the bar. Whatever.
Do a good deload week, and then we'll start going.
A good deload week. Deload week with lots of fat. I'm good.
Yeah.
It is what it is, man. And statistically speaking, and we'll get back to the other injuries here, just real quick. Statistically speaking, injuries in the weight room are incredibly rare. Yes, they happen. Absolutely. But compared to even walking, like walking long distances, the injuries in the gym are very rare. Just be careful. If you don't know what you're doing, get a coach who knows what they're doing to help you, but get in the gym. Go work out. Don't be afraid of these guys in front of you that, you know, are had injuries and all that kind of stuff. That's part of what we do. That doesn't mean that you shouldn't get out and move and go to the gym. Get in the gym. So that, the hand stuff, and the forearm training, how's that? It's not quite affecting your forearm training yet.
Yeah, but I can definitely feel that it's starting to.
Is it like you don't have full flexion, or it's not consistent?
No,
or
it's like I can feel like this part of my my forearm is not
just not quite engaging.
Yeah, it's not engaging as much, and then this part of my forearm right here is pretty developed, but I can feel that it's taking on a lot of load. So like recently, my mid forearm, like right in here, there's been like a lot of pain shooting back and forth just from like gripping. Yeah,
but it's not tendon pain, it's the nerve pain, it's that burning. Okay, got it.
Yeah. But I mean, it's one of those things where, I don't know, you just like, no one.
Everybody's got excuses.
Yeah, dude. Everybody's got like it's just like
that's the name.
Yeah.
So we've been coming up with names for every episode. That's the name of this episode. Everybody's got excuses.
Yeah. I mean, it's just like Charles says, like, you know, like I want to get my pro card in bodybuilding. You know?
Man.
And like I'll fucking die trying to get it. To be honest.
Yeah.
Like, I don't really care.
Too. I love that mentality.
I'm at the point where it's like, hey, I got to figure out how to work with this disorder and still make it happen because, you know, you just can't look back and be like, oh, well, that's what stopped me.
Right.
You know, like, fuck that shit.
Where there's a will, there's a way. You can make it happen.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And you've got great people that are surrounding you. You've got all the help you need. Yeah, dude, absolutely. 100%.
Yeah. Yeah, and I've seen my uncles and stuff that also have the disorder and they didn't take care of themselves, and like how bad off they are right now is insane. You know, like they're like mid 40s, like their whole arm is like as big as my wrist. Yeah, you know, like all the way up.
Yeah,
I mean, it's just like
you have to, if you have any kind of the neurological disorders that are like that, like you have to train and train hard.
Yeah.
Even if it hurts, know that whatever pain you're going to be experiencing during that workout pales into comparison to the pain you're going to experience later in life if you don't train.
Yeah. And it's crazy because this one lady comes in. This is kind of off topic, but this one lady
you fit right in with us.
We got connected with my podiatrist. Knows that like I do bodybuilding and stuff, and like knows I have CMT.
Yeah.
So then this lady that really wants to like help her CMT and all this stuff was referred to by my podiatrist. So she came and met with me the other week, right?
Nice.
And it was really cool experience because we got to talk about, the disorder and things like that.
Right.
And to be honest, dude, I for a long time, like, just kind of like, fuck that shit, I don't have it. You know what I mean? Like, and just like kind of put it out of my head because like I want to get to these goals, and the only way to get to these goals, I think, is to ignore my problem. Almost. But it could be a bad thing too, because if you ignore your problem and you're just training or doing everything like everyone else, bro, it's not set up for your success.
Right.
Right. So,
and that's a mind fuck.
Yeah. It is. So whenever she came and we were talking about it, I was like, okay, well maybe I can just kind of like talk about it a little bit.
Yeah.
Not like in a
in a negative way. That it's a part of you.
Right.
Yeah, it is what it is.
It's just how do you get past it to make your goal happen?
Like, exactly.
So, that's kind of why I wanted to like bring it up, because I was like,
no, dude,
absolutely,
that's fantastic.
Now, how cathartic was it to be able to talk with somebody who you could identify with, having the same issue, trying to maybe not exactly have the same journey, but want to have that same kind of thought process when it comes to health and know the importance of physical training?
Man, it was really cool because she had been a runner, and she just kind of got diagnosed because she's been having these like problems where she would just like we don't have good like balance.
Yeah.
Right.
Or when you close your eyes, you kind of fall and stumble and stuff.
Right.
So all these things were happening and stuff. So she was kind of like a little upset about it, and she came to me and we were just talking.
So she she just came to you explaining these kind of symptoms she was having.
But she had already
but she had already been diagnosed, correct?
Yeah. So this is what happened. So
but she didn't know you had it.
No, she knew I had it.
Oh, sorry.
The podiatrist.
The podiatrist.
Yeah, got it. Sorry, got it.
But she's already, since she was diagnosed in March or whatever, she has been, for the past 6 or 7 months, really working on trying to fix the problem outside of surgery. Because surgery...
Right.
It should be last resort.
I didn't mention, but like surgery has not helped me at all whatsoever.
Really?
Like surgery's probably made it worse for me.
Really? Even on the left foot when they brought it in?
Dude.
Really?
Like,
okay.
I feel like
going under the knife should be the absolute last resort. Yeah.
And I wish that, like back in the day, it's just like trust your doctor or whatever the case is.
But you're also in the Navy too. The Navy's going to tell you to do it. You have to do it.
But I mean, when I was in high school when I got my first surgery, my parents were just kind of like, well, trust the doctor. You know what I mean? But like, honestly, I was so young that like, I probably could have done physical therapy and like did some things to help me.
Right.
But like, I didn't fucking know, and neither did they. And they were like, "Oh, let's just trust the doctor."
Right.
So I got surgery,
Yeah.
But I mean, my feet are not only back to the inverted heels because like it didn't correct the way I walk, and it didn't correct my disorder. So I just walk eventually until my heels turn in, and then now I have all this like almost scar tissue built up. And in my metatarsals to where it's like now it's all stiff. So now my toes can't stretch out, and it's just a pain in the ass, dude.
Yeah, and also the cycling of going like getting really low body fat and then putting the tissue back on off like that is not conducive if you don't fix the underlying issue.
Yeah. So when that lady came to me, she had already gotten in contact with Baylor Medicine and got a hold of like their lead physician that covers CMT. He only takes CMT patients.
Oh wow, okay.
And she had like gotten in with like a neuro physical therapist and like just all these different things where she's like, man, I feel 10 times better. And I was like, oh man, I feel like I'm getting worse, I'm like, maybe I should fucking do some of these things. Because like if she's getting better and she's 50 something.
Oh wow, okay.
Which is the
she
weirdest,
presented late, right?
Yeah, so that's the weirdest thing is like the disorder can come later.
Yeah, right.
So like let's say my grandpa, for instance, he was telling me about it, and he didn't start experiencing symptoms until he was 40.
Yeah, and you were 17?
Yeah. No, I was fucking I was like 14 years old.
Really?
Wow.
Like your
Really?
freshman year of high school?
Yeah.
That's nuts, man.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy.
So it's just like, it's one of those things
It's all
where,
good.
yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, well, maybe if I kind of talk about it a little more, kind of like, you know, eventually, hopefully, this lady comes back and starts training with me because she's training with some fucking trainer at 24 Hour Fitness. Come on. And so, and I'm like,
with you. That's, no, you get 100%.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
I'll tag her. Well, if you have her Instagram, I'm going to tag her in this and be like, hey,
Come on.
what are you waiting for? Get with somebody who actually knows what they're doing, that actually knows the disorder, that actually knows how to work around it. Come on.
Yeah. So I'm like, well, hopefully she can come train with me, and then we can kind of work together on her disorder, and it would help me understand my disorder.
Yes.
Right.
In a
Yeah.
way, a little bit,
Oh,
you know?
absolutely.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So
yeah.
it's cool. It just like randomly happened.
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah, it's dope.
Are you with the hands thing? Are you using any of the grippers or like dexterity tools or anything like that? Because I've got some interesting things. And I can send you links to them, but they're like very specific dexterity strength builders for the hands. So they're.
Oh, really?
I have some that are on the contraction and the extension.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would definitely. like to
Okay.
see that
Yeah, I'll
stuff.
send that stuff to you.
Yeah. Because like I said, I had that neuromuscular stimulator. It's kind of similar to the newbie.
Yeah.
And I've been putting it on.
What's that? I cannot think of his name. Patrick? Is that his name?
Yeah, Patrick has one.
Patrick. Yeah.
But this is like a kind of like I've done like the newbie and stuff, but this is kind of like a little handheld one that I got from my mom. It's like really really small.
Yeah.
'Cause
I've seen those
my
before.
mom has it too.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. So I basically, you know, when I do calves, I like set it up for like 15 minutes on my medial head of my gastroc and my tibia muscle going down.
Okay.
Because that's kind of the two muscles that are kind of like fading really fast.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking about starting to put it on my forearm where that nerve is kind of like dying off.
Do you have any you have anyone doing body work on you in order to open that up?
Brandon used to do body work on me sometimes. He still kind of does when I get pain, but to be honest, like that's one of those things where it's just fucking hard with time.
Yeah,
you know,
and it hurts.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. It does hurt for
A
sure.
lot.
But it's just like I don't know. It's just hard to find enough time in the day to like get all your shit done.
Dude, tell me about it.
You know,
I think going back to that is a really, really good idea for you. I think you need to get back into that. The more you can, again, like the more you can open that up, right, and the more blood flow you can keep going in there, because the more the nerves are not activating, the more that muscle is going to tend to just lock up, and then you're going to get even less blood flow, and it's going to get even more locked up. You got to keep it open.
Yeah, it's smart.
I would highly recommend. If he's not going to do it, I'll be more than happy to help you. But
sure.
I would highly recommend getting back into the.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, those small things definitely help for sure. And like, I think that's just part of me just talking about it a little bit more, is just kind of like being able to like start going to Brandon more because I know I should. You know, like just like small shit. Like
Yeah, dude. It's all that stuff adds up, dude. All that stuff adds up, and even like in the feet, right? Like. It's gonna hurt, man. But getting in a lacrosse ball and just digging that lacrosse ball in your I know, and you know, but
it's like it's something about the disorder. It almost feels like I have like permanent plantar fasciitis. Like it's like never fucking goes away.
Yeah,
it's like it's so painful, bro.
It's just gonna keep locking up too, man.
Yeah,
but again, the body work stuff, like it's gonna help.
That's gonna help. So in bodybuilding, like. Dude, bodybuilding has kind of kept me as sane in a way to like work towards a goal, you know, and it's kind of like counterintuitive because you have muscular dystrophy, but it's just one of those things where it's like, I don't know, I just like to like go against the grain, you know, like.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Be different.
Cool.
That's what's fun. Be different. I'm different.
Yeah.
He's different.
What are you talking about?
No, he's no. You're
I'm as normal as anybody.
so weird. But so am I. So like it just again like I'm not shy. I'm very talkative. I don't really care. I can't think of a time I've ever been intimidated by someone.
Yeah,
like I don't care who you are.
Yeah.
Whatever. It be like just be nice. Be
you.
Be you.
Be a good bro. For the love of God,
be a good bro.
Be a good bro.
And if you are shy, there's nothing wrong with that. Be shy.
Yeah.
That's cool. Whatever. Like don't feel like anybody has to talk you into. Oh, you need to come out of your shell. You need to open up. You do you, boo boo. If you want to be locked up and be in a shell and only have a couple of people, fantastic, great. I do highly recommend at least having someone to talk to and open up with. But you do you. Whatever makes you happy. That's cool. The life's too short.
Yeah.
So the MS. The feet, sorry, just jumping in. The feet, the MS with the hands, what else? What else has been going on?
Well, I tore my bicep when I was moving equipment a lot and...
Not training.
Yeah, not training. Yeah, when he said about, like, most injuries happen outside the gym, it's the truth.
It's true, man.
Yeah, because, I mean, I had just been low sleep and we were getting ready to open the gym and I had rearranged this fucking gym like 5 or 6 times and it would have been smart if I just like had like a software and put all the
like draw a picture,
and, map it out.
Yeah.
But I'm like one
Use
of those
grid
like
paper.
visual learners. So then I go in and I move it and I'm like, nah, this isn't gonna work, and I'll start moving it again. And, dude, like my friends are fucking pissed at me, dude. Like this layout. I mean, there's this one time I was like, hey, can you just come help me for like an hour or two or to move some equipment around? Dude, 8 hours later, they're like, I'm gonna go
real quick, I promise.
Yeah, they're like, I'm gonna go fucking home.
No, we're almost done. Just 5 more minutes. 5 more minutes.
That's literally what happened. I tore my bicep doing that exact thing. I was like, no, I need to move this treadmill real quick, and then boom, I was like, fuck. I just fucking tore it. Like I could feel it.
You felt the pop
It
and heard
snapped.
it?
Was and I was like,
Was it loud? Was it audible?
No, it wasn't.
Crack?
It was audible, but it wasn't super loud.
Okay.
But I was like, yeah, something's wrong. 100%.
Yeah.
And like I couldn't like get myself to pull back on that arm anymore.
Correct.
It was just
It's just
kinda
done.
like-
It's dead.
Yeah.
The only way to do it's like turn it in and
Yeah. It was weird.
yeah,
So,
that's nuts, man.
yeah. So then it snapped, and then I was like,
What?
literally-
You weren't in prep?
No,
Right?
dude.
It wasn't in prep. Wasn't like eating probably in maintenance. Like whatever.
Yeah. It just happens,
happen.
man.
Yeah.
And I like it
So
sucks
funny.
because I opened the gym and I had tore my bicep just like 2 days before and I couldn't use any of my equipment that I had bought.
and just set up.
Yeah, and like just
He's in a sling. He's
rearranged.
like, oh, son of a bitch.
Yeah, dude. Like for the next 3 or 4 months, dude, I couldn't train upper body or
frustrating.
anything. And I'm like, dude. Like I'm watching people like, oh, dude, this piece is awesome. I'm doing this. I'm like, dude, fuck you.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is it? Thanks.
Yeah.
So glad I can make you happy.
Keep filming it and putting it online so I can watch it.
So yeah, man. And then I got surgery or whatever, and then started training it back, and now it's pretty much.
Dude, the
almost
insertion
done.
looks great. It's like
Yeah,
you
it's
can.
almost done.
It's you can. You can tell it's. But
Yeah, it's a little bit right here.
But it's not. It's not even a finger length. It's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
it's hardly there. It's awesome.
Yeah, yeah.
They did a really good job.
Appreciate
I had so it was maybe like a couple of weeks later. I had another friend. I think I told you about this. I had another friend had tore their bicep. It was like a couple of weeks later. I was like, why is everybody tearing their bicep? And then you know him.
Evan?
No.
No.
Well, no, Evan did too.
Yeah, Evan.
No, it was
Torres.
Shane.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Shane Hunter.
Yeah.
He tore it.
No. Shane. I can't think of his last name right now. But yeah, he had just torn his, and I had it was like the next week or the week after I saw you when you came in the store.
Yeah.
He had come in. I'm like, what happened? And I'm like, I tore my bicep. I was like, what? Why is everybody tearing their biceps right now? And another guy who I know just tore his bicep like 3 days ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah, deadlift.
Fuck, dude.
Switch grip deadlift. Yeah, and it's like, man, dude, biceps are funny, dude. There was one guy I saw it happen. I was there watching it, and it sounded like if you were to take one of these big bands, right, and stretch it across a closed door and pop it against the door, that's what it sounded like.
Oh.
It was so loud. It was so loud. And yeah, so that's why I was asking, was it audible? Like, how loud was it?
Yeah.
But that's what it was. That's the way that when this adductor popped and it tore, that's how it sounded too. It was like it was like just like that loud, such a weird
Just
sound.
that loud slapping sound.
Loud slap crack sound.
Yeah.
And then, but it was that with the sound of the bones breaking in my foot. So it was at the same time. So it was.
Go big or go home.
I'm here.
And you tore it when? What happened?
That was June last year.
Yeah.
June or last year. I was on a squat.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I've been doing volume.
So you were actually in the gym when it happened?
Yeah. I was doing volume, but it was light.
Yeah.
It was light. It was like 360. It was like 365. I was doing like sets of 10. And it was, I was like, but you know when you're going, again, to my detriment, right? I'm here. I'm just going to keep going. You know when you're starting a training session, you're like, something's not quite right today for whatever reason, right? Something just not quite right. And it had been like the warm-ups had been going out there. The warm-ups had been feeling like that, I mean. And then the first set, when I got to working weight, I was like, it's just like something's just not right. And I was just kind of frustrated. And I was like, fuck it, just go. And I got back under the bar, and it was like the second rep. And it was, that was gnarly.
Damn.
Yeah. And then like 2 weeks later, or a couple of weeks, it wasn't 2 weeks later, a couple of weeks later, I needed to keep doing quad training. So I was like, okay, what feels like I can still work? And I found that if I got in a very specific position on the sissy squat machine, I could actually get into a full sissy squat without any pain. I was like, okay, that's where it's at.
Yeah.
So I grabbed a 100-pound dumbbell and was doing sissy squats with the 100. And I was doing last sets at 12 or 15. And I got down and I went too low, and the same leg, the knee just crackle popped real loud. And I came and I was like, fuck. So I had partially tore the patella tendon. So it was this whole leg, right?
Fuck, dude.
Yeah, so this foot was broken. At that time, it was still broken. So the foot was, and the way I had like locked it in the machine, right? I had like paper towels wrapped around.
Fuck.
I'm gonna train. But
Talk about ignoring your problems, right?
bro, I am
Do you know how many times I've said to him,
to my detriment.
bro, stop.
Yeah,
Just fucking sit down,
Yeah.
man.
Just take a break. Take a knee.
yeah.
Dude.
I've been doing better. Like Jeff's coaching me.
Yeah.
And he's been through it enough, right? He knows. So he's like helping me like learn how to reel it back, because I use it as
it's hard.
It's hard to reel it back, and just the nature of like how I use the gym as therapy. It's I need it, right? And it's I use that as an excuse, and everyone has excuses. But that's a good name. What about excuses?
It's a good name for this.
Yeah, it is a good name.
There you go.
I use that as like an excuse to keep going and pushing harder, instead of saying like, I'd be better off just pulling it back. But it's I'm gonna keep training. I'm gonna keep training heavy. I'm gonna keep training hard and keep going, whatever. And even if I have done not bodybuilding training per se, but I have done like gotten down to like right at 10-ish%, and while still training, really heavy, and with decent physique, looked okay. But I know it could be like significantly better. But I just kind of want to do that. I think it would be fun. I think it would be fun to go on stage.
Yeah.
Just do it at least once. Just do it. Because I coach. So I'm a nutritionist. I coach from a nutrition perspective lots of bodybuilders, and they're like, well, have you ever been on stage? And I have to be honest and be like, no, I haven't, but I know how to get you there. But I kind of feel like that's a shitty cop out, right? Like I want to do it because I want to prove it, and I know it works. So I want to prove it.
Yeah.
Should do it.
Should I?
2025.
Should I train heavy?
Fucking do it.
Should I just go, just volume, just massive volume?
Dude, you don't even need it. Dude, honestly, I've been training with Brian, right? Well, first of all, can we take a pause?
Yeah, we're good.
I have to pee really bad.
Go.
And we're back. What you were saying?
So I've been training with Brian.
Oh yeah, the heavy stuff. Yeah.
So like Brian is.
Who are we talking about? Brian who?
Brian Trinello.
I don't know that name.
Train.
I don't think I've met him.
Yeah, you might know him. He's kind of been around the area. He used to train with Hunter Labrada for a little while.
Oh, okay.
And then now he's trained with like some bigger pros in the area.
Okay.
But,
is he here?
So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he actually I asked him to be the bodybuilding coach at Northside Gym, just to be like our kind of point of contact type
Nice.
of person.
Okay.
I'm kind of stepping away from coaching bodybuilding.
For now, it's probably a good idea.
Yeah.
Like from the business perspective, because you're at the point now where you're like, shit, it's grown so fast.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. It's gotten to that point where we're hoping to expand next year.
Nice.
So and get some more square footage.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Is this open?
Our neighbor next to us, the State Farm guy, he said that he'd be willing to move out and not continue his lease by.
How much space is that?
It's 1,700.
Okay.
1,750, and then on the other side of them, there's the open shell space, and
Oh.
1,750. So.
Oh wow, 3,400 square feet.
Yeah.
Nice.
So that would put us at like 8,500 square foot.
And you're
Oh,
ready
wow.
for that?
Yeah.
Or within the year? Like you're ready for that?
Bro, I'll be ready.
Bro,
Nice. That's
I
awesome,
love
man.
that.
That's awesome.
That's what I do. Of course. Who am I talking
I'll
to?
fucking be ready.
Yeah, dude. I love that.
But yeah, man. So I know that that's kind of coming, and I hope to God it's coming. I've been praying about it a lot, but I want to make sure that the business is taken care of. That's why Angela's here and stuff. And like, if I'm gonna go on prep, like I focus on that,
Yeah.
and also training my clients that I do have and make sure the business is running well.
Yeah, you're not gonna drop anyone, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now I have trainers under me. I gotta make sure they're getting fed too. And,
Yeah, right.
Everything's working.
Nice.
But I kind of, in a way, I can't take on the stress of being at athletes beck and call, and like also.
Especially when if you don't know this, like when you're getting into prep, all kinds of stuff starts coming up, and having the right coach to get you back on like in the right space, even from a headspace.
Yeah.
It requires the coach to be far more available than like a trainer would be, or even like most other coaches.
Yeah. So and there's Brian has always been like a good mentor for me when it comes to bodybuilding, and he's been doing it longer than me, and he's trained with some really big guys in the area. So me and him have been tight, so we started training together again. I was like, hey, you want to start working out? And then I was like, hey, you want to start coaching me? And then I was like, hey, like, how you feel about being here like more often? And like, he's like, God damn, man.
All within a span of 3 days.
Let's move quickly.
Yeah.
Okay? Ready to get married.
Do we just become best friends?
Yeah.
Yep.
So no, it's been really cool because it's kind of taken the stress off me, and like I get to like I have my team of people that really have I've pushed them through shows, and they really trust my word. So I get to kind of like push them to Brian and like be like, hey, this is my guy, if you go to him, like he'll get taken care of.
Nice.
And so Brian can kind of like take those people in and and like work with them and stuff like that. Because I want to boost Brian up too, and like he wants to help me grow the gym.
That's cool, yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and like I want to keep bodybuilding alive. I don't want to say it's just a bodybuilding gym. But his roots is kind of in bodybuilding. So
Okay.
I want to make sure I have somebody that is like-minded as me, that's training people like I train, and also like the nutrition part and all this stuff. And as well as I do in bodybuilding, sometimes like people can kind of get out of control with the drugs, and you know what I mean? Like just people like they push more towards the supplement side more than nutrition side.
It's ridiculous, dude.
Yeah.
It grinds my gears, dude.
Right.
As a nutritionist, it absolutely plays a role. Like the pharmaceutical side of things is at this point in time, if you're not natural, at this point in time, is a necessary part of the game, but it's a part of the game. The nutrition should drive the pharmaceuticals, not the other way around. And a lot of people do it the other way around. A lot of people drive the nutrition around the pharmaceuticals. You absolutely cannot do that and maintain like sustainability over a long period of time. It's not going to happen, and everything gets just completely whacked. Are you going to be great for a couple of weeks? Yeah, but what do you after that?
Yeah, and the rebound effect of everything is
wild, dude.
It's terrible. Yeah, and like, so my mentality has always been use at least the least amount as possible. To make the most amount of gain.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and everyone. Sorry, I'm sorry. I did not mean to interrupt you. I apologize. I was just going to say, and with that, directly with that, that looks different for everyone. Just because you hit a lower max than someone else, that's your genetic limit, does not mean you push more.
Yeah, right.
That is not what that means.
Yeah.
That means stop.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I apologize.
Well, I mean, the unfortunate side of all that is, just looking like an Instagram, the amount of videos that you'll see where people are making those jokes or making those videos about taking trend and, doing, the sports or the performance enhancing drugs, that it's almost become a normal thing.
Yeah.
They're normalizing it like you wouldn't believe.
Yeah.
It's sad, dude, to be honest. Like, these guys coming up, like, you'll see them placing in classic physique. Top guys are fucking 25, 26, right? So these new guys, and these guys are genetically gifted. They're like, have coaches, they have support systems under them that are making them, projecting them in life a lot sooner than others, right?
Yeah.
Like, these other kids, dude, they're like 21, 22, coming to me like, yo, you think I should get on? I'm like, fuck no.
No,
dude. Like,
God,
you have
no.
so much time on your hands.
Yeah.
You're not done growing.
Yeah.
No.
Right. Yeah, and it's one of those things where if I'm gonna have somebody like another coach that's gonna be working here, like, I want to make sure that me and them have the same mentality of of those things. So,
Right.
Me and Brian agree 100% on almost everything.
Yeah, that's so
awesome.
good. Yeah, don't push the drugs. And
on
that note, right, like, just how prolific it is.
Right.
There are just average guys going into the gym, like, running gear.
Yeah.
Like,
100%.
what are you doing? Like, you've got to. I don't get it. Like, you work your 9-to-5 job and you don't want to go into bodybuilding. You don't want to be a power lifter. This isn't the core foundation of your being, and you're just like, yeah, I take trend. What? What are you doing? Why?
It's because, again, it's the
What?
normalization of
Dude,
people
that's
taking gear.
crazy,
That's
dude.
what it is.
It's crazy to me.
Yeah. They're like, I want to get jacked, so let me take a cycle of EQ or whatever.
Yeah.
And they don't even know how to train.
No.
They don't even know how to train.
Or eat or anything.
None of it. Nothing.
Dude,
Nothing.
I had a session with a guy who wanted to, like, who I kind of was like, wanted to learn more about how, like, technique, because I'm super anal about technique, and he knew that. So we were doing sessions. We were doing a squat session. We got to talking. Come to find out, he was running tests and primo, and I'm like, why? You don't know how to squat? What are you doing? Well, I was talking to him about, like, about RIR, and I was talking to him about, like, how to gauge failure and the difference between technical failure and muscular failure, all that kind of stuff. And he's like, oh, I just go until it hurts. Like, so you're stopping your reps when it starts to hurt. When you start to feel the burn, that's when you stop. He's like, yeah.
Yeah.
You have no clue what you're doing.
Yeah.
Stop. If that's you, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. Stop.
Yeah.
Don't get off the drugs. You're not doing yourself any favors.
Yeah, definitely.
Grinds my gears, dude. It irritates the shit out of me.
My gears.
Yeah, but I mean, it's important. I mean, it is when you get to a certain level of fitness and you want to be on that top level, athlete, pro, whatever the case is. In bodybuilding, it's
part of the game.
To happen. But
it's part of the
if
game.
you're not a part of a natural federation, I would say.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah,
Right.
There are natural federations out there, and if you want to compete drug free, you absolutely can and be highly competitive.
Yeah. Actually, the first bodybuilding gym that I went to in Virginia was a it was a natural bodybuilding gym.
Okay.
The owner was a OCB pro, or an IFPA is what they call it. That's
Okay.
pro
Yeah. I don't know much about it.
But they did drug testing for the winners, and every competitor had to take a polygraph test.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Oh, wow.
Was it just a piss test for the?
Yeah.
For the
Okay. For the winners. Yeah. And then, there was a whole list of stuff that they made you read before the polygraph, and it was like everything known to man, all types of anabolics in there.
Okay.
Like, if you've taken this in the past 7 years, you can't compete.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
Nice, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're very thorough.
That's thorough, yeah.
Yeah, very thorough. Yeah, for sure. So that's kind of, that's one of those things that if you wanted to have the option of going into bodybuilding without, using drugs or whatever, you could most definitely do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
100%. And I think too many people step on stage for their first time and they think that they have to use these drugs in order to look a certain way. And like, well, I want to be competitive. It's like, well, you're not fucking competitive until your third, fourth, fifth show.
Yeah.
You need to the base.
And you're at least late 20s.
Yeah, like your base should be diet, and it should be training and recovery on your first show, and getting as lean as possible, and then from there you build.
Yeah.
So
it takes years to learn how to eat. It takes years to learn how to train and train properly. And when I say train properly, that doesn't mean that you're going into the gym and hitting the muscle groups you need to hit. Like if that's what you're thinking, you've got a long road ahead of you. There's so much more into it than that. And you absolutely can be competitive naturally. And I think I am under, and I have always been under the notion that until you plateau completely, and that means that plateau completely, you're not growing when your nutrition is perfect. You're not growing when your training is perfect. You're not growing when your sleep and recovery is perfect. At that point, it might make sense for you to look at the pharmaceutical route if you want to keep going. So there's a long list of things that need to be checked off the mark before you even consider that as being an option. Yeah. And people jump into it too fast.
Yeah.
Don't do that. Don't do that to yourself. And don't do that to your family either. Like it's hard enough as it is. Doing a bodybuilding show, it's hard enough as it is. When you throw pharmaceuticals in, especially when you don't know what you're doing, it wreaks havoc. Don't do that to your loved ones.
Yeah. That's why any bodybuilder that I'd say, if it's your first time, you should never use, because you've never been that lean for a period of time, and you don't know what those hunger pains feel like, and the emotion that comes with all those things. And then adding something that's going to heighten all your emotions is just not a good mix.
Yeah,
it's never a good mix.
I've heard of people doing, and you comment on this, I've heard people saying like, okay, I take that hunger and put it towards the gym. And what I took that as when I heard that was you're literally so hungry that it's like it's unreal the hunger that you have, but they're psychologically channeling that to training harder, pushing it harder in the gym. Does that make sense to you? Is that kind of how you treat it as well?
Oh yeah, for sure.
You do? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's got to be tough.
Whenever I'm like, I would say it's usually around like sub 7 or 6%. I'm in the gym and I'm angry.
Okay. Yeah.
And I'm not angry at anything else but just being hungry.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like it's just a different type of workout, because like I said, like to get even leaner, you have to almost train harder because your body doesn't want to get that lean.
Yeah, exactly.
So like how are you going to up the volume of calories that your body wants to expend? It takes aggression, to be honest. That's the only way you're going to get that lean.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
It's crazy to think that at 10%, which is lean, 10% is lean for any average person. 10% is incredibly lean. The difference of 1% from 10 to 9 is 10% of that total number, right? But the difference from going 5% to 40% or 5% to 4%, even though that's a 1% drop, that's 20% of your entire body's worth of fat. That's massive.
So, dude, this is such a good analogy. I tell this to people. You played a role-playing game? like RPGs or
yeah.
So
Like level up?
the first 10 levels,
Easy.
super easy.
Yeah.
Right? But then like when you're on like level 49 trying to get to 50, you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I've done this level fucking a year.
Yeah. Grinding. Yeah. It's the same way, dude.
Exactly
That's a great analogy. I like that. Yeah.
It is.
It's tough. And I, as a coach, like trying to walk people through that, especially if they've never done it before, trying to walk someone through that to get them to understand, it's like, yes, it's 1% drop from a total perspective, or it's a 1% drop from a graph perspective, from a total body fat perspective. It's 100% more. It's 100% more. Here's the way to look at it. It's 100% more difficult to drop from 5 to 4 than it is from 10 to 9. Mm-hmm. That's how much harder it is.
That's crazy. That's a good. That's in a scientific analogy. That's a really good perspective because I never looked at it like that. But I do know it's harder though.
Yeah,
I've been through it.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, why the fuck is this so hard?
Yeah, good. It's so much. And like to your point, right? It's like your body stores fat in very specific places. Like the fat that's surrounding your kidneys is crucial for maintaining like homeostasis for the human body, and the padding on the bottom of your feet, that fat down there is obviously necessary for cushioning, for going, whenever you're getting down to really low body fat, like that stuff starts going away. So it's not only just that it's harder from it's insatiable hunger, things hurt more. Like it like gets to the point where it's like, it hurts to pee. Because it's everything in life is just so much more difficult, and your brain and your body is just screaming, "Feed me!" It's not easy. It's not easy. And then again, people compensate by like upping the drugs, right? Because you can override that with aggression. Don't do that. Don't do that. Do it naturally. Do it naturally. Do it naturally as much as you can. As long as you can. Yeah, exactly. No, that's good. Okay. Yeah, I think that's about it, man. That's all I got. You got any questions for us? You got anything you wanna talk about from a mental health perspective? Anything that's on your mind? Anything you want to get off your chest?
No, it's been a good.
This is good, right? It's cathartic, right?
I like it.
Yeah.
It's a nice way to vent.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. You're just bullshitting with the boys. It's nice.
It is cool.
Yeah.
I appreciate you guys having me on.
Dude, I appreciate you
for inviting
us
us.
to your house.
Yeah.
Dude, this is your place, bro. We love this.
Yeah, I know. I was like, I think it'd be cool. I was watching some of y'all's videos and stuff, and I was like, I don't know, it'd be cool if you guys came by and like just changed the scenery up a little bit.
It was nice.
Yeah.
It's a little weird not about being behind the bar like I said earlier. But I mean, it's nice to mix it up.
Yeah.
Plus, come out here and experience. I live like 5 minutes from here, so it's been nice to kind of actually be able to come in and check it out. And
oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
Don't you know who works out here?
Oh, Sarah. She cuts my wife's hair.
Oh, Sarah Harris.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
she's been my client forever.
Yeah,
oh, really?
yeah. She had mentioned that. I know I bumped into her. I think you were training her at TIR.
Yeah.
And she was like, "Oh, I'm not working out anymore. I go to Northside. That's over by Elle's house." I'm like, "Oh, okay, cool. How's it?" She's like, "It's great." I'm like, "Okay, cool. I'll check it out." And
just passing.
Yeah,
Dude, Sarah, me and Sarah have become really close. We met at Legacy, and then she's followed me to Freedom, and then TIR, then here.
Oh wow, okay.
I mean, she owns her own salon. So
Yeah.
She was one of those people that was like, dude, fucking do it, motivating me and like, being behind me and stuff.
Awesome.
And she still comes
and
trains with me all the time. So
Yeah. She's a sweetheart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really
She's done my wife's hair and my mother-in-law's hair for years now. So yeah.
Well, I mean, next time you guys, shit, if y'all want to come back.
Of course.
Absolutely, yeah.
Maybe get a training session in before or after.
Yeah, that'd be a lot of fun. Yeah,
that'd be cool. Because dude, anytime we get to play in a new playground, absolutely.
You're like, I'm down.
Dude, I am always down.
It's always new toys. So
I love playing with new gym equipment. It's so much fun.
Yeah, have you tried Panada stuff?
I'm about to use that pullover. I want to play with it because it's got that real hard stretch, yeah, dude, I want to play with that. I saw how far back it was, just that resting position. I'm like, that's a stretch.
It is.
Yeah, man.
It is. It's hard to get into.
Yeah, especially for my locked up ass. Get in there all tight shit.
Yeah,
no, I love that. Yeah, man, absolutely. We'd love to come out and like do a session, and maybe we film it and we watch you like grind our faces in the dirt. That'd be fun.
Yeah, that'd be a lot of fun.
You would love that, wouldn't you?
Just really get in there. This is what pain looks like, boys and girls.
All right. Well, thanks for coming, man. Thanks for having us, dude. It was awesome.
Yeah.
We'll see you guys soon.
Catch you next time.
Yep.